Sunday morning, and you are listening to Super Gamecast. I'm your host, Bronson Fiore, joined by the always awesome Aaron Reynolds.
Always. Always and forever.
Yes, and then our mod mommy wielding her banhammer powers, Emily Hulslander.
Oh, what's up, my nerds?
Apparently she's joined the X-Men, doing double duty.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was obvious.
Don't you think X-Men... I feel like X-Men should pull double duty. They're probably not super active, especially not like if you're not part of the first team.
Yeah.
Like, I know some of these kids are young and they're doing school, but there's got to be like 20-something, 30-something X-Men that have nothing to do.
I just like the idea of like Wolverine's always on missions, and then there's like a dude who's just like kind of has a lot of free time, and they're like, "Yeah, but you get a fucking job, man."
Exactly.
That danger room
You got
ain't
bills
cheap.
to pay? Professor X is like on his shit. Learn a trade. Jesus.
Learn to code.
Oh, God.
Learn to code. That's funny. Anyway, hi.
Hi. Hey. I saw that Deadpool and Wolverine, speaking of X-Men.
Yeah. I watched that shortly after our podcast last week.
I almost want to go again.
Right? Yes.
Like that, I've skipped a handful of MCU Blu-ray purchases at this point. Just there's been a lot of bad ones.
Right.
The last one I bought was, Guardians 3. And, yeah, I'm absolutely going to pick this one up.
Yep.
Like, it's so good.
It's a good time.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was great. And then I've been playing so many fighting games.
Have you
So
now?
many fighting games. I don't even think other video games exist for me anymore.
It's hard, Like, it makes... When you get into fighting games, like, any time you spend with any other game is taking away from getting better at the fighting game. So it's like... I do have other games I need to get to, but...
And the high isn't as good! That's the problem!
No, I'm not at the rank I need to be in this game. So, yeah, I didn't make progress in the other thing that I need to be doing, but come on.
I cannot do down medium. I cannot do down medium into drive rush into combo with Akuma, and until I do that, we're not leaving goddamn training mode.
Yeah. It's been like that this last week, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, I don't know. Has anything else happened in your?
No, not really. So we should
woods?
hop straight into the news.
I suppose. I guess.
So yeah. So
What's up? What's going on in the news?
The news is hey, a studio is being shut down again.
Okay, great.
It's the most common shit. The most common of common shit.
Every week it feels like, just whatever. All right, great.
Yep. So Meta, so Facebook, is shutting down Ready at Dawn.
Okay.
Ready at Dawn started out making games for the PSP. They made Daxter. They made those two really good PSP God of War games.
Okay.
They made the Wii version of Okami, which is often cited as being the best version because of its controls where you paint.
Yeah.
And then they made the Order 1886 and disappeared for 2 years and then spent 4.5 years making VR games, which all reviewed pretty well, like in the 80s,
Well, the problem is making money with VR games.
Yep. So in April of last year, they got hit by layoffs, with 33% of their company being laid off, and then and then they shut down the studio this year.
Damn, man. Yep.
So, yep.
I mean, it's part of the larger trend of not getting devs getting shut down after making some decent games, but there's also this VR thing you gotta consider of just like, yeah, VR continues to not work out for really anyone.
Yes, and M, can you ban that spam bot in the chat, please? Thank
Can
you.
do.
So yeah, no, it's like, I mean, the thing is though, is like Meta, their only thing is VR. So like, are they
Right.
finally giving up? Are they finally giving up the ghost?
That's a good question. I
Yeah.
mean, the news has been silent, I feel like, on what's been going on in the VR world. Like even Meta, I don't know what you're doing in the VR verse at this point.
Like, I feel like it sucks, but I feel like VR started and ended on Half-Life Alyx. That was the mainstream game,
Yeah.
and then it came out, and it was amazing, and then everyone else was like, well, fuck, we can't do that, and then just left.
I mean, because yeah, they had some other games come that were like Population One, and obviously Beat Saber is still a thing, but that Resident Evil 4 thing they did was fucking awesome.
That was cool.
Um,
All the Resident Evil games got those VR modes, and they were pretty sick. Oh.
I just yeah, I like again what they did. The things that they were doing were cool. But
But it goes back to the problems with VR of it requires an ass load of space.
yep,
It requires
Mhm.
significant hardware investment. And
yep.
then one big complaint that I keep hearing about VR is people just don't like wearing shit on their head. That isn't like
It's heavy, It's heavy. It needs to be comfortable. I needed to buy that add-on to make it comfortable.
Yep, that notch one.
Yeah,
No, like
and like yeah, the investment needed for VR to work out is like years from now. You know,
it,
like
it's
what they've been needing for VR to be something that was accepted by the masses is like, when Mark Zuckerberg was giving his little presentation, it was like, hey, the stuff that's going to happen for all of this is going to be like 10 years down the road. It's a long-term investment. So when he said that, I figured he believed it. um,
we cannot trust anything they say. Unfortunately, it seems
right? Yeah. I don't,
so.
yeah. So I don't know what their
Oh fuck.
plans are. Getting rid of their developer. One of their developers is not going to help things.
No, if anything, it's just gonna make shit worse. By the way, how's the audio levels? I know we were talking about that earlier. Good. Okay.
Yay.
Um. So yeah, no, nah, man, I don't know. Like, it's a bummer because I feel like if they would have just stayed at PlayStation, they would have been fine.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if
but
they
but
stayed there and not ventured elsewhere, they wouldn't have
but
this issue.
they made that big bet on VR and it just didn't work out.
Rough.
So
Really did not work out.
so um, speaking of not working out,
Uh-huh.
Oh
the
dear.
sentiment at Bungie around Marathon is it's not looking good.
Okay, what is there anything more specific?
Well, the first direct quote before I get into the news proper is the staff is, quote, pessimistic about hitting the current deadline even after the 1 year delay.
Mmm.
There's a reason
Okay.
that it was planned for this year and slipped a whole year. People that Schreier has talked to says it's not great. And we'll see exactly when it hits sometime in 2025. Let's see. This was a few months ago, so shit can change. Uh,
Right.
Jason Schreier says he's not sure how the Bungie fan base would be enthusiastic about a PvP extraction shooter, and it's probably going to be in a similar situation to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, where it's like the extraction shooter trend has passed, and then
Took them too fucking long. Amazing.
and none of their other incubation bets worked out except for one that Sony abducted.
Right. Yep.
So yeah, like I said, I think Bungie realistically might be on their death march.
I mean, I don't know
Which is
how else to
unfortunate.
interpret this.
Like I just think it's either that or they're just gonna like PlayStation's gonna come in and say, no, we're no, you guys don't get autonomy anymore. No, 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 no. Which honestly, from what I've heard about working at PlayStation Studios, it isn't half bad compared to most of the game industry. So that might actually be
Sure.
a win for those employees. You know. Oh my
I
god,
mean, yeah, that's the question is, can they retain everyone?
the thing is I just thought of something super funny. The employees just sitting there going like, okay, we need to get out of this Pete Parsons bullshit, so we need to tank Marathon.
How
We
can
need
we?
we need to tank this game, okay? All right, we're all in this together,
We
right?
need to
Okay.
just give it all of the bad press. Like, we good? We know the game plan? Let's go.
Yep. And then I'm sitting here going like, man, it'd be really cool since Gorilla is so busy with Horizon. Maybe you could just hand Killzone off to Bungie. That'd be a cool idea.
Right. Yeah. I don't. I don't know
Not a
what.
bad idea.
Does anyone care about Killzone anymore?
I
Eh,
do. I
No, I'm sorry. There are not many people who care about Killzone at this point.
I don't know. That game sold pretty well. Those games sold well,
It
man.
sure did. I think they have a striking aesthetic that can be used to get people interested in it again, but that's
I
got to be
think
a hard sell.
I think the harder sell is the one that
it's
I
not
really want, which is Resistance, because
Well, right.
nobody
No, that is
gives
a
a
harder
shit about
sell.
alternate history besides dorks like me.
Well, even like alternate history, I think there can be some fun to be had. It's just like Resistance had. I'm trying to remember someone who was not a big Resistance person. I'm trying to remember what were those crazy. What were even the monsters that you were fighting? What was happening there?
So basically, what it is they are fucking aliens, alien parasites who like abduct the species of whatever planet you're on, and
Mm-hmm.
then mutate them into the chimera and the different monsters. And then there you go. And then it slowly takes over the planet, and you have a whole. And now it's a new chimera planet. So,
Right.
um,
Right. Chimeras. That's right.
and
Yep.
the guns were so sick because, of course, they were because Insomniac made that fucking
It's
game.
Insomniac. Yep.
But you want to know who's also good at making really cool guns? Bungie.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
so, Bungie, do you want resistance?
Um,
Yeah. It's such a bummer the situation they got themselves in because they put so much work into what Destiny is,
yeah.
and
And,
there's a
and
lot of cool stuff in there.
yes, every time I am raiding in Destiny, I am having a great time. It's just that
Hmm.
everything else around it is like, uh,
Right. And it's
yep.
just, man, I don't know. There's something to save there if they really wanted to invest in making something really cool, but I don't know.
I,
It'd be a shame if Destiny went down because all this was a mess, but I guess,
I think it's just going on maintenance mode is what I think is happening to Destiny.
I mean, right now, yes.
I think in general, I think it's going to get the Heroes of the Storm treatment where you get some seasonal bullshit that happens once a quarter, and then
Mm-hmm.
and then nothing new is added to the game, and you just play the game forever. Or where Destiny 1 is right now. You can still play Destiny 1.
Right.
So we'll see. This is just such a bummer. It really is.
Yes.
Um, like when I think of like studios that I just loved the shit out of everything they touched, Bungie was one of them. Yeah,
Yep.
like for an incredibly long time, and then it just started to fall apart.
Yep.
So
Sure fucking did.
So, yeah. I hope Marathon turns out great, and I hope that studio turns things around and their leadership does a better job.
Yep.
Um, apparently they
Agreed.
had some restructuring at leadership, which is why Luke Smith ended up leaving.
Hmm.
Which I'm like, one of the people who is actually useful on your leadership team leaving due to restructuring in leadership. Fucking
Isn't that
awesome.
Well, ain't
great?
that some shit?
Isn't that great? Man.
Uh, all
All
right.
right.
It's just we ripped Bungie a new one real bad last week, and it's like not much
it,
has changed.
it's kind of deserved right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little. Just a
So
little.
enjoy.
Speaking of companies who kind of deserve to be ripped a new one, um,
Uh-huh.
Warner Brothers is not doing great in their game wise. Like even their games that are doing well, like Mortal Kombat, have a bunch of bad press around microtransactions and the way they handle things. Um,
Yeah.
and then they've had some in-house flops like Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they are currently thinking about licensing out games or IPs to other developers. So,
Mm-hmm.
like going to studios like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like Marvel is doing, like how Marvel's like, "Hey Sony, please make a Spider-Man game. Hey 2K, please make Marvel Midnight Suns. Hey whoever the hell makes Marvel Snap, make this card game with Marvel." They're
Right.
considering going that route, which Warner has a lot of really good IPs. Like they have the whole DC universe. They own the Harry Potters and the Game of Throneses.
Yep.
So I think that would be I think that's a great idea because I would love to see these IPs spread around a bit. Especially because they haven't been doing great with them themselves.
No.
Um,
No, they have not. So, I
yeah,
mean, oh, well, all right. Sure. You know what? Fine.
yeah. And then they did actually say something encouraging regarding like games that are, in my opinion, it implies, hey, more single player games.
Uh-huh.
Which is one of the reasons that Hogwarts Legacy was so successful and the number one game last year was that you went to Hogwarts and you enter the game and you were able to become part of that world. That ultimately, I think, is a big piece of where the industry is going. That'll maybe create a movie, whether it's Batman or Superman or Harry Potter, and there'll be a TV show. But the ability to go in that world and have that experience of spending time with all the characters is something that we still own. We have 11 studios here, and we have a lot of IP, and there's a lot of interest among others in coming to take advantage of some of that IP for gaming, which we are looking at. Um,
Hmm.
so I think that being in the world with those characters to me very much implies stuff more like Hogwarts Legacy and less like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Um, will that actually be the case? I don't know.
No idea.
I would hope so because it is, unless you behave entirely perfectly, I feel most people are really fucking tired of live service games. To
You got to be big and have characters in the world that people want to be in, and there aren't that many, and they're all fighting for each other still.
and
So,
and also like respect your time and not feel like you're trying to rip, uh, you know, like rip every dollar out of my pocket.
that
Yeah,
helps. Yeah.
like Helldivers was in a great spot until they did all that shit with like, dropping support in certain countries and shit like that.
Yep.
Um, you know, that game is still doing well. I think it has like it's doing way better than most live service games if you go look on Steam charts. But on the
Hmm.
other side of that, it's like not nearly the highs it was once at. You
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Um. So. Um. Yeah. So I think you can do a new live service game. It's just that it requires like just you have to not abuse your players, which I feel is all too easy for these companies when they make one of these games. You know,
Yes.
cause, cause,
That's the purpose of the live service, is to eventually be able to do that, is the thing.
yes, because like I think they see, they go ahead and they see like Lost Ark people blowing 5K a month.
Hmm.
They see they go ahead and they see like even FF14, like you go on that store and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ. Emotes
Yep.
and fucking I remember, I will always goddamn remember I will always remember playing Final Fantasy 14, seeing that tea emote where you
Yes.
sip the tea. It's a good one. It's great. I love it. And then I find out it's a story mode, and I'm like, okay, what? That's gonna be like $2, right? That's gonna be like $1. It's like an emote. Come on now.
Right. Right.
$7.50.
Yep.
And I was like,
What?
no, I'm
Yep.
good. I'm good. $7.50 to drink tea. No, no, that costs more than a real cup of
Nah,
tea.
fam, I'm good.
That costs more than a real cup of tea. Holy shit.
Right.
Like,
No,
Exactly.
no, no. I'm
hey,
good.
that's a
I'm good.
bougie cup of tea. Jesus Christ.
So, or like even World of Warcraft. Like I play World of Warcraft. The new expansion's coming out. They just put out a mount. For those of you that don't know, I love owls. They're one of my favorite animals. Owls are the shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Uh, Fun fact about me. And they just put out a mount that is like this beautiful ice owl. It looks awesome. Um, and it has special effects and whatnot. And it's $25. Now,
Oh, damn it.
Now, that said, I will give Blizzard some credit when they do this. They do this what, twice a year? Twice a year where they put out a new store mount like this, and you can get it for free if you commit to 6 months of subscription time up front.
Hmm.
So if you're someone who's playing WoW like every single month, then yes, it's great. But if you're someone like me, who what I do is new expansion, new season of content comes out. I moved to Azeroth for a month. I burned through all of that content in about 1 to 2 months, and then I take 2 months off. This is not a great deal for me. So, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so, anyway.
Mm.
Uh,
Yep.
so,
Good
so
stuff.
the, there's that. Anyway, so they're hoping to license out that, which is also weird because they just bought a studio. They just bought the studio that makes multiverses.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like just bought them outright. I like that game. I used to like that game so much during its beta, and I just want it to be. I want it to go back to that kind of gameplay. I don't even give a shit about like the rest of it. Like, yes, their microtransaction structure sucks ass. It's
Yeah.
genuinely really
Yeah.
bad. The amount of time you would need to put in to unlock free characters is just the worst.
Hmm.
But
Horrendous.
the core game is so much goddamn fun back then, and it was so fast that it was like, yeah, this is great. I'll absolutely pay. I'll absolutely pay for these fucking characters if I really want to play them. Yeah,
Hmm.
100%. And these stages, it's great. But they ruined the core gameplay enough to even I'm just like,
Right.
And they zoomed in the camera for some reason. So weird. It's like they zoomed in the camera a bit,
It's
and I'm like,
it's very interesting hearing all the different changes they've made, because like I don't think anyone was complaining about those problems, as far as
no,
I know.
no one was like, this game is too fast. This game's camera sucks. Like, I don't know what the mindset here was for this. And the thing is, the roster for that game still keeps getting more and more awesome. Like
Right.
that's the
All the stuff I've been seeing has been really cool.
yeah, like they just put out Agent Smith and Joker.
Yeah.
And Samurai Jack is coming soon.
That's a good roster. I love
Well,
it.
yeah, like, oh god, it's that, like, this roster is so good, and like when they announced it, I was like, oh, dude, like, are you kidding me? The like Smash Bros. But Warner Bros. IP, that's awesome. That's great. Oh, oh
Yep.
my god, they added the banana guards from Adventure Time as a playable character.
Oh my
It's a
god,
playable
no.
character. That's weird.
That's all right. Yeah, yeah. Jason is on here. LeBron James.
Sure. LeBron James. Yeah, I love that.
Rick
What
and
a
Morty.
weird addition.
Several Looney Tunes. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, and because they own Cartoon Network, they can do like Ed and Eddie, Powerpuff Girls. Like
Yep.
there's so many good characters that they could use, and just like I said, they need to fix, they need to like go back mechanically. They're like, okay, no, we need to go back, zoom out the
Yep.
camera, make it fast again.
Yep.
um so yeah, anyway, moving forward, that's Warner Bros.
Moving
and
forward.
their IP. So hey, because GameStop is a shit company run by ghoulish monsters,
Uh-huh.
when they shut down Game Informer, they just pulled the plug on the website. Just
Yep.
just dead, just immediately gone. And then because of the tiny chance of someone going on the Game Informer Twitter account and saying something negative, they deleted the Twitter account. Like all the history,
Oh
all the
my god.
everything, just
They did what now?
they deleted the Game Informer Twitter account. It's dead. So yeah.
Those fucking assholes. I swear to God.
I, yes, I agree. The last issue apparently was put out semi recently. There's a bunch of different there's a bunch of different like posts of people in the Game Informer Reddit sharing like their favorite covers. Um,
Okay.
yeah, this actually, yeah, and I actually like see some of these, and I'm like, yeah, Game Informer did really have some sick covers sometimes.
Yeah, they did.
Um, yeah, so I was, it's a bummer.
Yep.
I'm kind of bummed. Like, I'm not bummed because I needed the space and they weren't doing anything, but I donated a giant stack of those earlier this year when we were doing the house maintenance.
Okay.
Hmm.
Hopefully, someone at that Goodwill finds a good home for them.
Yeah,
Uh,
hopefully.
Hopefully.
but yeah, so yeah, GameStop is going real scorched earth on this, but I love it when a company goes scorched earth because the internet is like, no, fuck you, we're gonna archive it even harder now.
Right.
You
Spite.
know?
Assholes.
Yep.
Yeah, because the company started in 1991 as like a magazine, like a mini magazine at FuncoLand.
Right.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so Game Informer's account was deleted after a former staffer who seemingly had access used it to write what they called a genuine goodbye, which,
Okay.
you know, fuck you very much, GameStop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, fuck you very much. Uh, that's like, oh man, they gave a personal goodbye from the editorial staff. Burn it all down.
Terrible. Terrible.
The horror that these people who put their blood, sweat, and tears into this editorial work, they don't have rights. Ugh,
Yeah.
God.
I just have one thing to say to GameStop.
Yeah, like
Go fuck yourself, you assholes.
watching the death gasp of GameStop these past handful of years. Like they became the meme stock for a bit and got a big boost to that, and then they just wasted it. Just completely
Yep.
wasted
Yep.
it. Just you know, um, yeah, like just completely wasted it, and Now they're doing this thing where they will do give you cash for PSA graded cards and PSA
Oh,
graded like collectibles.
They'll do
okay.
what
So
now?
yeah, so like Pokemon cards or sports cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like if you have them graded, so like you went and got them graded, they
Uh-huh.
will they will give you cash for it. I'm not joking.
I was gonna say, I've seen people who get their shit graded, and that shit goes.
Yeah, no, if you
Like,
certain
it
like
goes.
I guarantee you, I have certain Yu-Gi-Oh cards. If I got them graded, like they'd probably be worth at least a couple $100, if not a couple thousand in certain cases.
Mm-hmm.
It
You
depends
know,
on the situation, yeah.
yeah, and I'm just like, GameStop is GameStop just a pawn shop, like a very particular pawn shop now?
I
Is
mean,
is that what this
that's how it
is?
kind of like really grew. So
Is it like a pawn shop that sells new video games and new video game consoles as well?
yeah,
That's the vibe I'm getting. Like I had a
I
friend of
mean,
A little
mine.
bit.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
that's what it's been for games. And then like trading card games is video game adjacent.
But
Mm-hmm.
they also now do cell phones and smartwatches and collectibles like Funkos and shit. Uh,
Hmm.
like it's weird. It's just like it's this store that is supposed to special. Like I just feel like the store can't exist anymore because unfortunately most people buy their games digitally. Um,
Mm-hmm.
even on
Mm-hmm.
console, like just the vast majority of people do. Um,
Yep.
like to the point of where some games are getting physical copies, but significantly later as part of like a secondary market. Like Alan Wake 2's physical copy comes out in October.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Um, Dead Rising's physical copy, Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered, its physical copy comes out like 2 months later. So it's just like this feels like the die. Like I'm kind of annoyed that they couldn't even just sell it off. Like, are you telling me that there is, no one was willing to buy that, even at like a cheap price? Like, hey, we'll give you Game Informer for a box of nickels. Um,
Yeah.
you telling me IGN didn't just buy this? What they just bought another, like IGN just bought Eurogamer. You're telling me IGN, or rather the company that owns IGN, wouldn't be like, yeah, we could use a print magazine. Sure, why not? Yeah, we'll give
That's the
you.
thing. Like, plenty of people would have purchased Game Informer. I mean, plenty of people. A few like gaming companies out
Or
there
if
see
you,
the value
yeah.
in Game Informer.
Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, I don't just. This is real shit. This is. It just rubs me the
Yeah.
wrong way, and then the way they're handling this, like, sweep this under the rug as hard as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's the part of it that really rubs me the wrong way.
Right.
That they didn't exist, but some good has come out of it. The internet is going out of their way to archive it. There are websites that are archiving full issues for free, so you can go just read Game Informer whenever you want.
Yep.
MinMax is currently going out of their way to uh, they're doing a Discord group that's like a preservation effort with scans of issues and copies of online content that never made it to print. GameFile shot a documentary about the publication in 2019, and it's hoped to release it soon. And then MinMax again recently did a tour of their last office. Um, and then yeah, so no, it's some real shit.
Yep.
And then comment. The sudden shutdown of website and magazine last week eliminated a rich archive of video game history, including thousands of news stories, game reviews, interviews, original reporting, and exclusive cover stories that document the making of countless games, including high-profile cancellations like StarCraft Ghost and Rainbow Six Patriots. So, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. God. So frustrating.
It's so just sad, and it's a little worse because like I actually thought about like the site we worked at and how like I wish before the owner shut that down would have given us a chance to go grab anything that like we wanted
Yeah.
of written work. You can still find a lot of those videos, but even some of those are off the face of the internet.
Yep.
So
No.
no, so it's but it goes into the money people don't care most of the time,
Right. No,
and
that's not what they're about.
it's unfortunate. So here we are. Anyway, moving forward, to kind of weird news more than anything. Dead Rising Deluxe Remastered is removing the erotica genre from the photography minigame. So, for those of you that don't know,
Okay.
there's a mini game in Dead Rising where you have a camera and you take photos of different zombies. And depending on what they're doing, it would get extra points for extra things. So, like, if it's, like specifically horror, it'll say horror, and one of them was erotica.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like taking, you'll see like a female zombie at a certain angle. It would say erotica, and or a zombie character, and I'm just like, so they're just removing that entirely.
I guess. Yeah.
Just I don't know. This
Stop
doesn't.
looking at desecrated bodies so lewdly the way you are, sir.
This just seems ridiculous. This seems like such like an overreaction to like the chance of negative press.
Well, that's the thing. Like, no one is looking. I would hope no one is looking at zombie bodies and being like, "That's hot."
Oh yeah, that
Oh hell
zombie in
yeah!
a bikini taking pictures of the boobies.
I
Them
mean, the whole
zombie
point
boobies.
of it's a joke. Why
Yes.
why would anyone think this? This is ridiculous.
See, I think that like it's like, oh, you're taking like, but they're zombies. Like that's the context here is like. And I feel like they were just afraid, like, oh man, like people are gonna see like minigame where you take pictures of woman zombie and throw a fit about it. So I'm just like,
Right.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, no, that's something. And there are a couple of mini games that are linked to these kind of photos. Those are being altered to make it so you know you can still do them. Which, see,
Okay.
I think they could have gone the other way, where like they just put like, they objectify some male zombies as well, and just
Right.
like, yeah, it's just,
Everyone would be fine with that.
yeah, no one cares. And it's also, I want to make this very clear. This is weird in general because all of them are zombies.
Right.
It's like who the fuck is like, yeah, that corpse is hot. Like you said, it's for
It's funny.
comedy.
It's yeah.
It's for
Yeah.
comedy.
That's absurdist comedy in a zombie universe.
Can we not like? Can we not have nice things anymore? Like like the fucking sexy zombie joke. We're not allowed to have it anymore. Come on, man.
And in the grand scheme of what this video game is, I don't care.
Yes,
But
I agree.
like yeah, I don't know. That seems like a weird choice.
Yeah, so that game's still coming out September 19th digitally, November 8th physically. Um we're making some other improvements, better AI, so it's easier to rescue people. That was a big
God,
complaint.
I could use some better AI. Man, last time I watched my friend play Dead Rising, holy shit.
Oh
And
God.
then they're also adding a durability meter to items, so now you don't need to keep track of it yourself. You just know.
Okay,
and
good.
then last
Well,
they're allowing you the ability to remove the HUD.
okay.
Okay.
I don't
That's
know.
not too
What do you
bad.
think about the meter? I think it's kind of that adds to the suspense. I have no idea when this shit's gonna break.
Well, people knew because it always broke at the same point. So the people who were really into Dead Rising knew. Oh yeah, this item breaks in 5 hits. This item breaks
I
in
mean,
2
yeah, if
hits.
you count, yeah.
Yeah, that just
I'm not counting my baseball bat swings. It's just that's not my style. But I could like ballpark it. How many have I swung? I don't know. I got 5 zombies in front of me. This thing I'm pretty sure is about to die. I don't know though. But
Dead
yeah,
Rising
that's
was
fine.
such an insane game. Like
Dead Rising is a fantastic franchise. I mean, at least the first game. The first game I watched, I was like, God, this game is so good.
I have played all of them to some extent. I think it like really peaks with like 1 and 2.
Right.
Mm.
I mean, that's how 3 came out, and they were like, all right.
Yeah,
And
it was
then
like the car stuff in 3 was a lot of fun. Oh,
sure. And then 4, we don't talk about 4.
it was not
No,
fun.
of course not. Why would we?
So let's see. So that's that. Hey, next up, there is a Dragon Ball MOBA coming.
Mm?
You told this to me a couple days ago. I was like, sure, I guess, fine,
Um,
whatever.
so you can sign up for beta tests, which will take place August 20th. It is the first ever 4v4 Dragon Ball team-oriented battle game. And it's for PC and mobile. Not sure if it's coming to console yet, but we have a trailer, everyone. And this game
Okay.
does not look good. It looks like that Pokemon MOBA on the Switch, but for Dragon Ball.
No!
People who do play that game do like it, but
I did not.
honestly, I think this looks worse than Pokemon Unite.
Oh, have you seen the trailer already?
Now every second counts.
I don't know. This to me looks about on the level of Pokemon Unite.
Nah, there's something else happening. Them making them so small in this large map is weird to me.
I think that, and the thing is though, is like I also think that I think the things you could do with a Dragon Ball MOBA can be interesting because of the fact that like you think about like okay, a big part of MOBA gameplay is like positioning and movement and whatnot, and man, Dragon Ball has some real crazy movement and positioning. So and like we saw a brief clip of him just like knocking a dude all the way down a lane, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, that could be actually really cool in this game's context.
Right.
So,
we won't know until we see it played, right?
yep.
Mm-hmm.
So as for what kind of device you need, basically any gaming computer in the last decade will work, 960 or better.
Good.
As for phones, Android users need a Snapdragon 855 or newer. And then for iPhone, you would need an iPhone 11 or better, with an iPhone 13 or better being recommended. So,
Yeah. All right.
the reason I put it in here is like it just seems like a really weird, unique thing.
You gonna sign up for the beta?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I want to poke. I want to poke around
As
in
the
this weird
resident
thing.
Dragon Ball nerd.
Yep.
It's less the Dragon Ball nerd bit and more just the like this is a weird thing and I kind of want to see what they do with it.
It's a weird thing, but also like for you, like the closest you got to liking a MOBA was Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm is in full on maintenance mode.
Yep.
And other MOBAs aren't really changing what they do.
Nope.
And so here comes another MOBA, and it is Dragon Ball themed.
Yeah.
That's your best shot at liking another MOBA.
Yeah. Yes, they have to make it fun. Because I like I think there's a balance in it because like Pokemon Unite, I thought it was just too simple. Like it was just too simplistic. I was like, this literally is a MOBA for children. You know?
Right.
And this is coming off of like me being a Heroes fan, which is already the simpler MOBA. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, and then you know, I'm not big on League, so or Dota.
No.
I will say seeing 2XKO's characters again, I was like, huh, maybe maybe I can throw some time at League. Give League some attention.
Nope. If the only way I would give it a shot is if we could get an entire group of people, of friends, to come together and be a really shitty League of Legends team.
Oh God.
I mean,
That's the only way.
We can get 5 people to play League together, I'm sure.
Can you convince enough people? I would like them to all be not League of Legends poisoned in the head.
But my girlfriend heard this and she just looks at me and just shakes her head like no.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you.
Just
Thank
like
you.
Oh my
You know
God,
what?
I love you.
We'll
Thank
save
you.
Oof.
put thumbs down. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, we're just gonna go in and hit some
That's
buttons
for me.
and die every match, and then be like, "Yeah, it's League of Legends." All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Garen and he's gonna spin in a circle with his sword and then I'm gonna die and there we go.
Literally, I just want to pick out characters that are going to be in 2XKO and be like, "All right, yep, I played them."
See, what I want to do is I want us to go into ranked with
Oh. God, no.
I want us to go into ranked, but as a 4-stack, so we have one rando with us.
That's no. I can't. No. Absolutely not. That poor person. That poor person.
So yeah. Whew. I don't know, man. It's something. It's something. Anyway, so yeah, I briefly had the thought about playing League, but probably not gonna. I don't know. I do think we could easily get 5 people to suffer through a night of League with us.
Oh, absolutely. I think we could do. We could trick people into one night for
Be
sure.
Like League will be great, man. Just come on, let's hop on League. I think I've like
We just spent the whole morning of being like, "Hop on League, dude." We're oh yeah, pro. We're all about League. I like Ari and other characters.
Garen and Lux are all I know how to play.
Who's the person that was the star of the show?
Oh, not Jinx.
They had a show.
Was it
Blue
Jinx?
hair.
Jinx, yeah, it's Jinx.
Jinx. Okay, I know Jinx.
Yep.
Got it.
So, yeah. No.
Anyway.
Let's see. So, yeah, that's I don't know. Sometime next week I might report back. So I played League of Legends. And turns out I don't hate myself that much after all, because I stopped playing League of Legends.
I bet you if we got the reason I'm saying we should get all new people who are not League poisoned is we will lose a lot, but because we haven't developed the virus, we'll have a good time regardless.
Yeah, so I guess my question is like how much do you mean League poisoned? Like could we grab X League people? Because Anthony spent like a hard summer playing League.
Anthony would be fine. Anthony would be fine. I'm talking about people that would who would like torch the team for being so bad.
Okay, yeah, because I was gonna say
so those assholes. Okay.
League players.
Your average League player.
Like those that commit to playing League of Legends to the point where they play in tourneys type of League players.
Johnny League of Legends.
That.
Yes.
So yeah, no, it's that's something else, man. Let me tell you. All right, so Next up is, and our last news story. Unfortunately, almost 1 year later, Alan Wake 2 is still not profitable for Remedy.
That's
That
amazing.
sucks.
So it has nearly recouped its cost of development and marketing. It just has not made profit. So that's a thing. It is, which sucks because it is also the fastest selling release for Remedy, selling over 1 million copies a few months after launch.
Oh wow.
Yep. It also had a lower budget than most AAA releases, so that's a thing.
Right.
And the Night Springs expansion pack has been reviewing well and selling pretty well itself. Um, so moving forward, Remedy has plans to maximizing the potential of Alan Wake and Control, and they're satisfied with the sequel's performance despite not generating any royalties yet. One major reason for the lack of it being profitable is that Epic Games has it exclusively on PC. However, Remedy does not have much to say in the decision. Should Epic allow the game to Steam, they will likely find a larger audience and become more lucrative. The problem is
Hmm.
with that is Tim Sweeney really fucking hates Valve and Steam a lot,
Yes.
and they own the publishing rights to the PC version, and they funded the game. In fact, Remedy even said this game does not make it out the door without Epic. Without
Right.
Epic putting this bill. So I don't think Epic is going to suddenly go, golly gee, we should let this super critically acclaimed game go to Steam so it can fuck us even more.
Yup.
Don't see that happening. Not,
No, I
Nope.
don't.
Not anytime soon.
which is unfortunate because the game is sick as fuck and it needs to get, in my opinion, needs to get to as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
do you enjoy horror games at all?
Eh,
Eh.
depends on situation and the type of horror it is. Like Ghostwire Tokyo, when I played that, that was good because that was like jump scare type of thing and paranormal horror more so than
Okay,
anything. But
then I think you probably would like Alan Wake.
I mean, I probably would too,
I think they are
to be
doing.
honest.
I need to check something on it because the last bit is they're putting out a physical version finally. For
Yeah, I was actually
PS5
gonna
and Xbox.
ask, did they show a release date for that?
It's October. It's coming this October.
October? Okay.
Yes, and it comes. It's $80 and it comes with the first game. So for $80, everyone, you could play all of Alan Wake,
I think I have
and that's
Control.
the DLC. Yeah, Control's great. I don't think you need to play Control to enjoy Alan Wake 1 and 2. I think I think it helps. Like there's some additional context that's really cool that comes from Control.
Hmm.
But no, everyone please go buy this fucking game. Please go buy this fucking game.
There's
Like
a reason why it
please.
was nominated for Game of the Year last year.
Yes,
For the love.
absolutely. And I feel like in any other year it probably would have won. But like
But it was going up against some heavy hitters, so.
yeah, like I feel like if that game comes out this year, it's easily game of the year. Like this game is fucking
Hmm.
amazing. The first one is also great, not as good, but great. It's old though now. It's 15 years old. Um, but yes, like please, I don't want to wait another 13 years for a fucking Alan Wake sequel. For
I
the love
mean,
of God.
at the same time, I
Please buy
like.
this game. Buy this
What
game,
was the
please.
budget for this? Do we know?
We probably find out. Hold on.
I'll look it up.
Because the moment I heard about this story, the more I started thinking, like, yep, we're continuing hitting the wall of like, yeah, we shouldn't be spending so much making these huge games unless we're Grand Theft Auto.
No, it actually wasn't that much. Uh,
Really?
50 million euro. That's less than Ghost of
Euro.
Tsushima. So, hold on.
Yeah.
So, hold on. Let me do the conversion. 54 million. So yeah, it's still less than Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
That's less than a lot of games. And that game was like cutting edge tech also.
Yeah.
So what we should really be asking
Yeah.
is why are these all?
Which then makes me, it goes back to
Well,
Epic Game
yeah.
Store.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
I have a feeling if this game was on Steam, it would have done it would have
it
easily
would
gotten
have
the
It would
done
have blown
number.
up
record
even more.
numbers if
Yeah.
it was on Steam.
It's just it had the that's why I didn't buy the PC version. I bought the Xbox version.
Right.
That's why. But I still bought the fucking game. But I bought it on console instead. Um, yeah, man. Th- th- this game did everything right in my opinion.
Mm.
Like that a AAA game can do. It kept the budget under control. It plays great. It looks amazing. It's one of the best looking games of the generation. It's very well written. Um, and it still isn't profitable. Like, god damn it.
Yep.
Go buy this fucking game, people. It deserves it.
That's great. I
Uh,
just, yeah.
uh,
I don't know.
like, what? Why aren't people playing Alan Wake 2?
Well, again, one is Epic Game Store. Two is, I assume you got to play one to play two. That's going to be the assumption, whether that's true or not.
Okay, fair.
And Alan Wake came out, what, over a decade ago?
Yeah, 2010.
Yep.
May
And
of
so
2010.
people got to go back and play that.
But they put
And
out
I
that
think that's just a hurdle.
They put out that remaster like what 2 years ago for the first one.
Mm.
I will say this physical edition, it feels like there's no excuse because it includes Alan Wake remastered with the DLC.
That's
And
nice.
yeah, so it's like, all right, you can play the original Alan Wake with all the content and Alan Wake 2 all in one box. $80. So you're paying $40
Well,
a
and
game.
this goes back to the larger question we've been discussing off and on is like we only have so much time to play the games we care about.
Yes.
Right now is a fantastic time to be into video games because there's just a ridiculous number of video games coming out,
Yes.
seemingly all the time, and we can only spend so much time in all of these things. On top of that, there's a huge push for live service games. There are more live service games out there than ever before, and they're continuing to go, and they're all vying for your time. And so it's like, okay, what am I going to spend my time doing? For me, right now, I am playing fighting games. I am jumping between Street Fighter and Tekken, and that requires a lot of time. I haven't gotten to Dawn Trail, for the MMO that I love. I haven't gotten to it yet. So I'm wondering what everyone's situation is. I wish you could have like a large scale survey of like, all right, what are you putting your time into right now? And like, are there games on your list that you need to go back to? Is Alan Wake 2 because the release date came and went? Like, is there not enough interest? There's not enough, what's the word? Hype right now to get you to go back and try it out? Are you just gonna stick with what you've got now and wait till the next big thing comes around?
I am curious how many people do not go back to games that got a lot of buzz when they're now that they're cheaper and now they're doing this thing where it's this big box set or like things of that nature. Like I am curious about that because I am a person who will go back. Like I completely missed a couple of games earlier this year that I do want to go back to and play. But I'm curious.
I was going through my Discord. I had I put a bunch of notes in like my own personal Discord, and I will occasionally go back to check to see what I did. And one of them was like games I've been meaning to go back to for years and still haven't, but they're on my list. I want to play Dead to Rights so badly for some reason.
All right.
I would see the game trailer and see game trailers of that game and be like, man, I got to get back to that thing. I got to see what that's about. Like Mark of Cree. Mark of Cree, I've heard that name a bunch of times and I need to go back. But the question is, am I going to go back? I don't know. It'd be nice one day. But there's just so much. There's so much going on right now. You know.
I agree. And I think it's about like picking and choosing. But I look at a game like Alan Wake 2, and I'm like, this is an example of a game that is great at everything, and more people need to
Mhm.
play this. Like, this is a game
Sure,
that
but you
is
don't have
just
that understanding of it before you've played it,
no, exactly, and that is why I am on
and
this
that's why you're in
show.
hell and you are suffering.
Yes, and to be shout out to HR Ninja in the Discord by putting it on one of his top 5 favorite games of all time.
Mm,
Oh, he had
goddamn.
some he had some very kind things to say about it. What did he have it as like on his list? He didn't order them, but yeah, it's one of his top 5 favorite games ever. And I'm not going that far, but like, god damn, dude, I was obsessed with that game at the end of last year. It
And
was
what's really interesting is they had some great marketing in that at the Game Awards they had a whole little musical number they got to do. That's
yeah,
straight
Hmm.
up advertising for the game.
and you know it is their fastest selling game ever. It's just it. I think that you
I
know
think it really is just epic.
it's like just that epic. It's this catch-22 of like, well, the game isn't made without Epic, but the game can't
Right.
be profitable because of Epic.
Right.
And
Yep.
yeah, like that's kind of feels like it because like on console it doesn't matter. Like people who want to play the game on console, like
Yeah.
whatever. They're like I played it on Xbox. I'm gonna buy that physical edition on PC to support the devs and to have a physical copy of it. But in the case of the majority of people who are playing on PC, they want a Steam version, and I think that affected it in a big way. Like I feel like if
Mm-hmm.
this comes out in Steam, we aren't having this conversation, and who knows, it might because
Nope.
Control was an Epic exclusive for a while. Now the difference there is that was published by 505 Games, not Epic Games.
Mm.
So I don't know. For those of you that are curious about this physical deluxe edition, it comes with all the DLC for Alan Wake 2, Alan Wake Remastered, which includes all the Alan Wake DLC, and then some extra skins and tchotchkes in the game. So
Mm.
you can
And that's
literally
also
get
$200 at limited run.
no, that's the collector's edition. This is $80 for the regular one. The collector's
Oh,
edition includes a bunch of extra stuff,
Mm.
like
which
props
I
from
was half
the
tempted on doing, but I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I was tempted on that, but like, cause they had props from the game and stuff, and I'm like, I don't have any space for this
Yeah,
shit.
the lantern and
Yeah,
shit.
so um, yeah, so yeah, I think a lot of it's epic. I think a lot of it is the game is niche because it's like a psychological horror game,
Hmm.
which I think is a little bit niche in itself.
It
Uh,
is. You would have thought like the success of Control would have helped with like it being niche. Like if you liked Control, you'll probably like Alan Wake.
yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, people should go play that game.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. It's like it's very similar to how I'm like in the camp of telling people, please go buy this Marvel vs. Capcom collection. Fucking
Please,
please.
for the love of God, please
Um.
show love to everything that's Marvel and Capcom.
Yep. Um.
Street Fighter and Tekken are doing well, so I think and then Marvel vs. Capcom 2,
Yep.
popular game at the time, you would think.
Yep. So. Uh. Yeah. All right. Well. That's it for the news. The news happened. That was it.
The news happened. Um 2XKO had like their closed beta thing happen or
Yeah.
closed alpha or whatever.
They're closed alpha.
And yeah, they're saying that game is really good, but it's for the people who know fighting games because it's going to be really hard.
Um, so from what I heard, at
PlayStation saying
least,
we
from what I heard is it's not so much it's hard to learn like from a like combos and like that kind of thing. It's the fact that this is a tag fighter.
Yep.
And as a tag fighter, it has everything every tag fighter has where oh, I'm in the corner and a million projectiles and mix-ups are coming and I'm dead and I'm dead and I'm dead now.
Right.
You know,
Yep. Yep.
and
And so people who are super into fighting games are really excited about it.
yep.
Uh,
Honestly,
sounds good. But
my favorite part was like in the Reddit and on Scrub Quotes, there are already people who don't play fighting games but got into the alpha, obviously salty about it. Um,
it's the thing wasn't it. I swear the conversation early on was like this was going to be because it was a free to play fighter. It was going to be a way to try and get people into fighting games, and like, no, nope, mm. Great that it's free to play,
yep.
but good luck.
Yeah. No, that like there's already fucking salt all over. So they have like a public lobby system like all fighting games do now. Like the Battle Hub or the Tekken Lounge. And it has a chat just like those games have. Um Big O hacks or imagine losing 5-0 and still thinking you're good, Lamau.
Just yep,
uh
great.
let's see.
That game will be fun to hear the discourse of from afar.
Um yeah, no. This is another fun one. 401 damage lets you 2 S1 and still meaty opponent set to 5L on wake up. And they post the combo. It is a long combo. This is long even by the standards of Marvel or Dragon Ball Fighters. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the comment, ain't nobody trying to do a whole GTA 3 cheat code just to give someone else a cutscene. This game is definitely going to be niche.
Mortal Kombat? What? What are you talking
uh,
about?
um, yeah, no, it's there's a whole bunch of scrub quotes for this game already. Um, yeah. My favorite though is actually from Mortal Kombat right now. Actually, if you want to
Okay.
fight from a distance, go play a shooter. No one wants to play against you when constantly back up and throw projectiles. No one. You just look like a fool who doesn't know how to actually do combos and a bitch. Please actually put time into the game to play it properly or get off.
Did you win? I'm guessing you didn't win.
This goes back to what Michael and I were telling you last 2 nights ago when you were like learning Rio. I was just like, there's no shame in just zoning people out,
Look,
especially with the character
yeah,
as
it can
that
be
tool.
annoying as shit, but you gotta win. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, I don't particularly like playing zoners. I don't have the patience for it. But man, it is funny sometimes when you just lock someone down with them. Yeah, it's so
I had a
yeah.
real fun moment. I'm sure this is a very common experience, but just that moment of I was playing against I forget who it was, but just throw a fireball. They block and then they jump, and then I Shoryuken, and then it happened again, and then it happened again, and then it happened again, and then I won. I was like, all right, that's how you want to play this. That's fine.
Hey man, he did not pay $60 to not press buttons.
Clearly. Uh Look, jumping
um,
in is fun. I love jumping in. It's a good time, but I'm also terrified. Clearly you are not. Let me show you
yes.
why.
Also, one thing I do like about 2XKO, speaking of it, is the fact that in the Battle Hub they are showing people's live matches. like on the
Oh,
screen,
nice.
and they're also showing what the longest win streaks are. So you can go find
Sure.
those people in the battle hub and be like, uh,
I think doesn't Street Fighter do that? The second
yeah,
bit?
a little bit. Like they don't. I'm not sure if they have it on like a big screen everyone can see, but
It
you can.
flashes. It's not on there all the time. It'll be like
Yeah,
one of many things being featured.
yeah,
But that's the thing that I was expecting from like Street Fighter specifically is like you have this big screen. Why wouldn't you just show a fight? I wanna watch like here's the fight involving like the person with the biggest win streak, or something like that. And it's never that. It's like they're advertising something. So 2XKO actually using a screen where you can watch people fight is nice.
yeah. Absolutely. I, I'm disgusted that I actually want to play this game. Um, it is a tag fighter, which in itself is something that's appealing to me. Yeah, this game looks awesome. This game looks awesome.
Can you like get us? I wonder like if you can get just a cheap computer of some sort that you can have it install its rootkit on, and it's not a huge deal because it's specifically for this 2XKO thing, or just specifically for fucking Riot Games.
I wonder if any of those Riot games work on Linux. Maybe I can put it on my Steam. Oh wait, no, they don't. Oh yeah, that was a unrelated news story, but yeah, apparently after that whole Cloud Strike or CrowdStrike thing, Microsoft is considering locking everyone out of the kernel like Linux and Mac does.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
so Linux might be getting a whole bunch of video game support. Because fuck you and your kernel level anti cheat.
Right.
Baby, let's go.
Man. Okay. We'll have to keep listening and waiting to hear news on that.
Um,
Interesting.
yeah, no, I applied for that 2XKO, that 2XKO alpha, but did not get chosen. I was not picked. Oh,
Damn.
sad boy hours. Got to watch a bunch of other people play it though, and like I said, it seems great. That game's supposed to come out when? Next year? Oh,
No idea.
yeah. So.
2XKO. Formerly Project L. Coming 2025.
Yep. Okay. Hell yeah.
6 characters announced. They need to announce more, but whatever.
They need to announce a lot more. So. Yeah.
I understand you're fighting a video game. You kind of need the roster to be manageable at the start, but 6
Right.
is pushing it.
Well, to put it in perspective, Dragon Ball FighterZ, the last big team fighter released, launched with 24.
Right.
And
Okay.
and I know that this is a little bit big, but Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I think, launched with 30. I want to say. Hold on, let me check.
That's rather a lot.
30. Yeah, it's 30. And they added.
Doesn't need to be that big.
And then they added 6 down the line.
All right. Yep.
I don't know. I think 24 would be a good spot. I think 24 is a good start.
I mean, how much does Street Fighter 6 start with?
22, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
No, but you have to remember in this game you're doing 2 at a time. So
That's true. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and then I forgot. Speaking of fighting games, might as well do all the fighting game news now. So
We're here.
Maximilian Dude did his stream on Friday. And what that stream is showing off Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Beyond. And what it is,
That's right.
it is a complete overhaul mod of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. They're doing a entire. Oh, hey, Dwarf Old Dad. What up, party man? Party dude.
Hey.
But it's a complete graphical overhaul of the game, along with holy shit, fucking that was loud. Sorry, RIP headphone users. But it's an entire overhaul of the game from a balance standpoint and a graphic standpoint. I will pull up a screenshot to give you a comparison, everybody. This is from the Discord. Sorry, that's a little small. So this
Yep.
is the base game.
Yep.
Right. Here is the mod.
Oh,
Looks
Right?
comic booky.
oh my God.
So much
So good.
better.
So good.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get some footage here real quick. I don't think this is gonna revitalize this game in like a big way.
No?
I think you're gonna get more people playing it, which that's always a W. That's always a big win. I
How's
think
Gamora?
I think you're gonna get a lot more people playing it, and I think that that's important. I think that if anything, it shows Capcom, and more importantly, it shows Disney there is money to be made in this. So as you can see, they updated the menus. Like that, like I said, this is an overhaul mod. This is an
Yeah.
entirely overhauled Marvel's Capcom Infinite. Yeah, look at the visual difference. They overhauled the health bars. They overhauled the UI. They overhauled, like the graphics. It's entirely updated. They did a great job with it, including
Yeah.
supers and backgrounds. They're aiming to have it out by the end of this year. Um, it basically fixes almost all the problems with this game. The only issue left with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is the roster is just still not great. But like, man,
What
this
else can you
mod.
do with that, right? You know.
I mean, yeah, like you can really only do the UMVC thing, where you like add fan mod ones. But even then, it's like,
That's all you can do. Yep.
yeah, it's just. So yeah, that's original footage
Mm-hmm.
right here, and then they'll probably do a side to side in a second. But yeah, yeah, there you go. See, fucking A, dude. That is
Amazing.
like
Good lord.
it looks like a new video game almost.
Right.
Like it looks like they were just like it looks like they're going from the beta to the finished product. Um,
Amazing.
the bummer here is, of course, you won't be able to matchmake, and you're gonna have to go out of your way to find people who want to run this mod with you. But we'll definitely do a night for Fight Night where we check this out.
Sure.
When it's finally out. So yeah, no, it's I'm looking forward to it. It's that game is one of the saddest things to ever happen to a fighting game franchise. And I'm hoping between this shows interest. Come in the chat, all loud noises. I'm sorry. Tell companies and websites to stop making their videos autoplay. So yeah, I think that I'm hoping between this mod showing interest and then the collection hopefully selling well, we can get Disney to be like, yeah, okay, you can make another one. You can make another one, and we'll loosen up the reins a little bit. So,
Just a little.
all right, well, anyway, that was it for news. I feel. Did I miss anything?
I don't know. Nothing
I
coming to
didn't see
mind for
anything
me.
else of
All right.
interest, so that's it.
Alrighty, well then we're gonna go ahead and go on to not what we've been playing for once. We actually got comments on the YouTube,
What?
Oh,
like the
fun!
YouTube
Yay!
version of the podcast.
Oh fuck.
So it's good. It's good comments. It's good comments. Don't worry.
You
They're
say
mad.
that.
Yeah, no, it's good comments. So Solid Kratos, following us from the old place. Uh, Solid Kratos 963 says, "Hey guys, love hearing you again and glad to see you back. One note for future recordings is Bronson, your mic is very low. I barely hear you. I have to crank up my speakers. Other than that, I love the podcast update. Thank you. We're
That's been a
trying.
big thing is getting those audio levels right.
I'm honestly considering completely just like wiping my computer sound settings and OBS sound settings and seeing if it helps. I don't. I'm
Starting from
that.
scratch, yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, like it's that's the point of where I'm at. So the first question is, when it comes to game companies and corporations looking back to when game studios made games for gamers, what do you think was the shift that really changed the notion now games are now just more for instant profit and squeezing every penny out of their consumers? When was that tipping point?
Hmm.
I think that it's the end of the PS3 360 era. That's when
Mm.
you really started to see it get bad. That's when you well, end of 360 slash early Xbox One PS4. Like that's when I started to notice a real shift. That's when you got the online pass thing to try and kill used games. That's when DLC started to get more egregious. That's when free to play started to come into the picture more and more with
Mm-hmm.
gross monetization practices. Um, yeah, that in my mind was kind of the tipping point. I think games always had some level of that. Like you had shovelware and you had licensed shitty movie games trying to make a quick profit off of a name. But I really think like as much as I love the 360 PS3 generation, I think it is fantastic. I look at the end of that generation and see like this clear beginning of the end, and we just didn't know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
What about
Yeah.
you?
I mean, that sounds right to me. Like, my memory of that era is not uh, super great because that was during a time of great instability for me. That's when I had to like leave our old place and try to figure out other stuff going on. So like trying to think about when it happened, I would defer to you on that.
Yeah, I think that like I look to um I like I always joke you fucking people bought that horse armor. It's been downhill ever since. But
We all bought stuff.
we all did. Everyone did, and everyone's just like, this can't hurt anything, and here we are. Here I am seeing people spend $5,000 a month on Lost Ark.
We we are so willing to try things on the basis of, well, if a human being who is not insane runs this, I could see how this could be totally fine, and we operate based on that logic, and we really have to stop.
Right.
It's just not. That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening out here.
Like you definitely need to like. It feels like almost every one of these companies, I need to have the thought of, okay, if this was run by someone trying to maximize profit as hard as possible, how far can it go?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer with horse armor is how far can it go is people spending $5,000 a month on gotcha games and Lost Ark.
Which then goes back to like, we also have to imagine a kind of person that we aren't, and we don't know personally, doing
No.
very insane things.
Yes, like I don't know, like the worst person I know for microtransactions is a friend of mine who spends $200 to $300 on Hearthstone twice a year. You
Which is
know,
a lot, but also, it's not Starfield. Not Starfield.
Star
It's the
Citizen,
other space game.
Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. It's not Star Citizen levels of nuts.
Yeah, like it's yeah, it's yeah, man. It's like that was the real tipping point.
Hmm.
In my mind is like it felt like even back then we were having multiple conversations on the podcasts and on the news show and writing articles about you see this bullshit that they're trying to do, and to be fair, we were telling people don't buy it, don't do it.
Mm.
We bought some of it, but we were not as bad as a lot of people. And I feel like there's even sane, rational people can get, can get hit with stuff, and I think that that's an important thing to consider. It's a big part where I like constantly talk shit on gotcha games because I think that they are
Mm.
inherently predatory.
Right.
I think gotcha games are very predatory.
Mm.
And that doesn't mean they're not good, fun video games. I do want to make that
Right.
clear. Like, every
Yeah.
time I see Honkai Star Rail, I'm like, this looks like the funnest shit.
Mm.
But I don't want to play it because, one, I know my own spending habits, and I also know that, like I said, I think gotcha is inherently predatory at its
Right.
core. I'm almost there with free-to-play games, not quite. I think there are non-predatory free-to-play games. It's just that they are harder and harder to find. Um, so yeah, and I know that there is always that argument of like, well, exercise some self-control, and I'm like, dude,
Some people can't. Like
some
literally.
people like they literally cannot. Like, I have a friend of mine who's really really in to Genshin Impact, but his roommates have to control, I shit you not, his Genshin spending. They literally have to like run his Genshin account's spending password or whatever the hell it is.
Hmm.
Because they will literally spend all their money on Genshin. I'm somebody who has control over that kind of spending, and with the first year of Overwatch, it hit me for at least $400. So like someone who doesn't fall for that microtransaction bullshit, like easily could get hit for more.
Hmm.
So I think that yeah, and I think there are devs who aren't doing that. Like I think that or doing it in a way that's less disgusting. I watched a video on Warframe recently, and the Warframe developers, did a great job with that. I think that they handle monetization really well. As much as I bitch about certain parts of the fighting game cost setup, they're definitely not nearly as egregious or awful as they could be. Like, yes, the Street Fighter Battle Hub costumes are disgusting, but if you just want to, if you don't give a shit about, Avatar costumes, then Street Fighter's not bad at all. Like, I think that it's, but then there are people who are paying $500 for a League of Legends skin, so the
Yep.
fuck do I know? So, next up is another thing from Solid Kratos. At least for me, it seems every new game or announcement of a game comes with a bittersweet reaction, as it seems game studios focus on graphical performance or niche mechanics or just nostalgia baiting gamers.
Mm.
I definitely think nostalgia bait is getting more real over time.
Sure.
Like I definitely think that is a big thing. I also think the focus on graphics at times is that's that is
It's gonna have to
definitely.
come down because, goddamn.
I mean, like, even Tekken 8, like, or when you play Tekken 8, you're like, this is the most visually impressive fighting game ever fucking made.
Yeah.
Like, and I bet the budget for Tekken 8 was super high.
Right.
Probably the highest in the series. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's going to have to come down eventually. or at least stabilize. I think that Sony has kind of found the upper limit. Like, I think the upper limit is 200 million. That is and you're like, well, Spider-Man was 300 million. I'm like, Spider-Man, they also had to pay a shit ton for Marvel licensing, is my understanding there. So, if you don't have to license fucking Spider-Man, it's it's probably 200 million is the realistic answer. I think that, and that is the upper limit. That is like as far as games can go. It is not sustainable above that point. I know some people are going to bring up that Cyberpunk cost $500 million, but it's also one of the most graphically impressive games ever made. And how long, they had to do a bunch of stuff to get it to a point of making money, like a lot of extra stuff. So. And then the last thing is niche mechanics. I think niche mechanics are fine, and that's how you evolve the industry over time. Like trying weird one-off stuff.
I think that's fine. I'm fine with niche mechanics.
Yeah, unless you have a different definition than we're using for niche mechanics. But I think that I actually think it's the other problem is too many games are falling into what Anthony and I call blob games, which it's like giant, the most. I've said it before on that episode of Game Cave. The biggest open world you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Every game must have one-button crafting. Every game you will climb a tower to unveil the map. Every game has combat that is attack and counter and dodge. Every game, and it's this generic slop of a video game. And I saw this shit coming all the way back during Dragon Age Inquisition, and no one goddamn listened. And they were just like, this game is so big. I'm like, yeah, but it's not good. It's just big. And now that's happened about 80 million times, and people are tired of it.
Which again, I think it's fine when it's only one or two games. It's why we were fine with a lot of what Destiny did when it started, and then everyone copied it. Like, it was fine when it was just Destiny doing it.
Yeah. And it goes back to the thing of when we were covering games back in the day. Like, I used to complain about a lot of modern military shooters because there were a lot of COD clones. And I think that there's always going to be like chasing a trend. And Anthony has brought this up of the reason right now shit feels really weird and unstable is because there's no trend to chase. Like, nothing has come out as like the obvious answer, and the stuff that is making money is either really unique or there's stuff that you can't easily copy without getting blown up. Like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna go copy Valorant and Counter-Strike and then get annihilated because I can't compete with them.
Right.
I'm gonna go copy WoW and Final Fantasy XIV and spend hundreds of millions of dollars to compete with these two MMO titans and then get blown up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no obvious answer to make all of the money, and it's becoming a problem.
This is somewhat related, but I've just been meaning to say it because it's been on my mind for a while. Where I was listening to a long time ago, Waypoint did a podcast, and they were covering the Marvel's Avengers, and
a game
Austin
we
Walker,
loved.
Yes, loved that game.
Loved with our heart and soul.
We all put like 100 hours in that game. We wanted to like it so much.
There's stuff to like. The stuff that I liked about it was good enough that we kept playing.
It's so funny that I nearly have it's so funny I nearly have 100% in that game.
Yep.
I need to go wrap it up. I need to go get the 100% just so I can be like, I have 100% in Marvel's Avengers.
We'll do it the week before Rivals comes out.
Yeah, there we go.
And Austin Walker was like, this goes back to Destiny. This is going to be this big giant game, and it took a bunch of lessons from World of Warcraft and really did it. But then Destiny came and went, and it made some money. But like the quote from him was like, Destiny didn't take over the world. You don't need to make a game where the numbers go up. And yet, here we are.
If anything, Destiny, if anything, this unfortunately all goes back to World of Warcraft.
It does.
World of Warcraft made all the money in the world for about 6 years.
Hmm.
It really was just this unstoppable juggernaut of a video game, and it made all the money. And Destiny tried to take a lot of shit from World of Warcraft, and it didn't work out. And then a bunch of games tried to take up stuff from Destiny, and it didn't work out. And Final Fantasy XIV took a lot of stuff from World of Warcraft, but didn't really get really successful until it kind of established its own thing a little bit. And the what I'm trying to tell you is please stop trying to copy World of Warcraft.
It did well for its time, but now it's causing lots of problems.
Yes. I say this as someone who loves World of Warcraft and even really liked Destiny when they're not fucking it up. But like,
Hmm.
one, the people who are really into those games are not gonna move to your other fucking video game. Like the people
Hmm.
who are really into Destiny are not going to play your other bullshit. They're not. They're not gonna go be like, man, I really like Destiny. You know what? I'd like to play Destiny in a plague world. Let's go play the Division.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's just not gonna happen. And I feel like you see this over and over again. Like you look at like how well Horizon and Assassin's Creed and Dragon Age all did, and that everyone tried to make similar games, and they're still trying to make similar games. And it's like no, and we're starting to get it with Souls games, but the quality is there and they're different enough to where it's not as much of a problem. But man, Elden Ring and Dark Souls have made all the money. Let's make a million games like that. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. You are taking the wrong lesson from this shit. The
It's wild.
absolutely worst possible lesson you can be taking here.
I love so many games took the fucking cursor from Destiny. We need to
A
make a game like
terrible
that. I'm gonna get
thing.
the cursor.
That's terrible
Of
thing.
One
all the
of the
things you could have taken, why are you copying that?
Why are you copying the dog shit UI of Destiny to bring to your game? Of all the things.
Like
Um,
it's a shame seeing, like, I understand when, like, PUBG blew up. It's like, all right, let's make a battle royale. You know what? That's a whole genre unto itself. Like, I
and
get that.
and it's its own thing. Like that's still new. Like I
Yeah.
understood the first couple of Destiny clones. I understood the first handful of open world blob games. But last year was it last? No, 2 years ago I was playing Horizon 2, and outside of the boss fights and the visuals, I was like, this plays exactly like Horizon 1, which plays exactly like the more recent Assassin's Creeds, which plays exactly like the 1 millionth open world blob game I've played. Can I please get off this fucking ride? You
Hmm.
know? And I finished it, and I was like, man, these boss fights were sick. Every other part of this King game can go fuck itself. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
Um,
It's like, I don't know, man. Hey, Warframe's downloaded. All right.
oh, you're playing Warframe?
I don't know, maybe. There's
Did
I want to find out when, like, the intro portion of the game ends. And it's the same way I'm stuck in Zenless Zone 0, where it's like I'm in the boring part, but I hear it gets better. When is this part? I'm slowly starting to not care about anything about the story or anything, because me being invested in it is holding me back from the good part of the game, which is not a good position to be in. And like the last few times I've tried Warframe, it's been like, all right, I'm doing this. Yep. When do we get to, like, the really exciting stuff? When does it open up? And I just can't get there.
I have a friend who is obsessed with that game and keeps trying to get me to play it. The last time I played Warframe was around the launch of the PlayStation 4. It was like right after the launch when, you buy a new console when it's not backwards compatible, you just kind of go look for shit.
Yep.
And I was looking for shit and I found Warframe and it was alright. I have not gone back since. So
That
I am.
beginning portion is just like I feel like there's more to this game that people are into because I'm running through, I'm slashing dudes, I'm shooting arrows, and then the level ends. And I said okay, and then I just keep doing that. Does it like open up when I unlock other characters? Is this an Avengers thing? I don't know.
Well, I have definitely seen some crazy shit in that game's gameplay, but uh, we'll see.
Yeah.
Last little bit here. Question he has is what new IP are you excited for, if there's any, and new in meaning not a remake or a sequel?
Hmm.
Ooh.
I got
That's a
I got
tough
a
one.
I got a couple actually on my Steam wish list. Like I pulled up my Steam wish list to see what I had, and I'm really excited for this game called The First Berserker Kazan. And
Okay.
it's made by the DNF fighter people or Dungeon Fighter Online people,
Okay.
and it's like looks like it's top-down RPG. Like or not top-down, it's like a action RPG. Like things like Devil May Cry had a baby with Diablo.
All right.
I'm excited for No Rest for the Wicked, which this is
Hmm.
done by Moon Studios, which is I believe they're the Ori people, I want to say. Either way, this game is a top-down Diablo-like. It looks very cool. It's in early access on Steam right now. I haven't bought it yet because I refuse to buy early access games. Stormgate, which is a new StarCraft-style game by the old StarCraft people.
All right.
Um,
Nice.
and then, yeah, that's kind of it. Everything else is, at least currently, is remake, sequel, stuff like that. This is not a new IP because it's a sequel, but it is a Castlevania-like called Beyond the Ice Palace 2 that looks goddamn awesome. So,
All right. Hell yeah.
yep.
I'm looking forward to Mecha Break, which
Oh,
is
that one looks good.
basically a fucking Armored Core for Answer, but its own IP. At least that's what it looks like to me. Um,
Okay.
I don't know. There's a number of interesting. Like right now is the time of like, man, indie developers and smaller developers are making a bunch of crazy stuff.
I so
Yeah.
this is the issue that I run into with indies, and for Anthony it's even worse. That's the issue he runs into is like either the polish isn't there or they are too niche for him to really, I guess, get it. Is the way he has stated it.
Mm,
You know, like he played an indie Fire Emblem like recently. It's just like, yeah, the polish just isn't there that I would get out of Fire Emblem. Like everything else is close, but it's just not the
sure.
same. It's not what you would get out of a full Fire Emblem, which is understandable because it's like, yeah, probably a team of like 10 to 20 dudes. But yeah, so I get why people, especially if they mainly look in the AAA space, are kind of upset at the current state of games. Like I could definitely see why. Like yes, people like us and people who listen to this show, and get to hear us go in and gush about certain games, like 9 Years of Shadow or Berserk Boy. Indie Darling of the Year, by the way. If you haven't played Berserk Boy and you like Mega Man and Sonic the Hedgehog, go do it. Um, but like if you don't play that kind of game or you don't like that kind of game, like you're a fan of, Uncharted or you're a fan of like Tomb Raider and they don't really make those kind of games without being shit or financially abusive to you anymore. I could say you'd be very upset. Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, but my thing with that is like, yeah, maybe give some new stuff a chance. You never know. I get that.
That's at some point that's what you got to do. And honestly, I feel like it's I understand you're not certainly not guaranteed as good a time. But I just think that's the way to go. We are just seeing thousands and thousands of layoffs. Like a game becomes successful and then it gets burned to the ground and all the money goes to the top and they just burn all the developers. And like it's it's really shitty up there in the AAA space right now. And
Well, the thing is, it's like
I think you should give it a shot. Give the smaller stuff a shot.
I do too. And I gotta commend Anthony for going and doing that. Like he is giving it a real shot. Like he is trying to find cool stuff that he will hopefully like in that space. And I think the other issue he has that he has stated to me multiple times is like I feel like finding stuff I would like feels nearly impossible. Like
Well, that's
when
the
it comes
thing.
to
I would love there to be like a real. I've honestly thought about it, and I never pulled the trigger because I look at how much work it would take. But just like getting a team together to just be covering indie stuff and like going in depth on it, because the indie space is blowing up, but it's so much that trying to cover it all is difficult, which makes it difficult to get the word out about these games, which then hinders its success.
yeah, like
Whereas the AAA space has all the coverage it needs.
well, yeah, and like how many times have like we had to make a separate channel on our private Discord for show planning, where like yeah, this is just where we talk about weird indie shit that no one knows about because otherwise we won't
Yep.
hear about it. You know, I'm
Yep.
pretty sure that I am the only one out of the three of us who heard about or knew about Berserk Boy until I told everyone.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, pretty
like
much.
yeah, like I'm pretty
I-
sure Ninja was the only one who knew about 9 Years in Shadow.
And then I've
Yeah.
got, I checked out Palia. I got Hellskate. I have not played a ton of Hellskate. They just redid a bunch of stuff, so I need to check that out. And then I've like downloaded demos for Mullet Mad Jack and Dystopica and Rollin' Rascal. And like I want to check out these games, but there's a lot, and they all cost a certain amount.
There's that too.
Um,
It's like yes, they're not $70, but when you're buying 5 of them, and I also think that there's more of a risk in indie games that yeah, because you don't know, and like
Yep.
you kind of have to, and like if it's something where not a lot of people have played it, you kind of just have to pray. Like I played a really awesome indie game recently called Steel Assault. This game is sick as hell.
Okay.
But it has a total of only 293 reviews.
Yep.
On Steam. Like there are not a lot of people played this. And what I found out by reading the reviews is this game is awesome, but it's like 3 hours long.
Yes, that happens too. Yep.
You know, so it's definitely one of those things where. And I think there is good stuff in the AAA space. It's just it's at very specific developers. And actually, one thing I noticed is either they are companies like Larian, where they are privately held,
Mm-hmm.
or they're Japanese,
Right.
which I don't know why the Japanese studios, mostly because Square Enix still is doing Square Enix things, but can avoid layoffs and avoid a lot of this shit. Like Capcom didn't lay off anyone and just gave everyone raises last year because they were doing so great. And Nintendo has a lot of other problems in terms of like a lot of things regarding emulation and piracy and fan games and Smash tournaments. But when it comes to their actual product and the way they treat their development teams, not their US teams, but their in-house development teams, it's good, and they make great creative games. So it's like, and then same thing with Namco. Like Namco, let Tekken be Tekken, and let, Elden Ring be Elden Ring, and they also publish Armored Core. I'm pretty sure they published Armored Core, which I think that Namco is they're a case of, one, they get a lot of cushion because they have a bunch of licensed IP that just makes money hand over fist. Like, oh, of course people are buying the Elden Ring game. Or not the Elden Ring, the One Piece game. But I also think that Namco and other Japanese companies, due to the way they are culturally, they are not as much focused on quarter-on-quarter profit. Like that's still important because they have investors and things of that nature. But the way Japanese culture sees business is they want to build like a 100-year dynasty. They want to build a company that lasts for like 100, 200, 300 years. And you
Mm.
can't do that by pissing off your consumer constantly.
Right.
So I think that's why you don't see this as much out of Capcom and out of Sega and out of Nintendo. And I think that Nintendo realizes something that a lot of Western publishers and developers don't realize in the AAA space is if you make a good game, like a really good game, nothing else matters. You
Right.
could that at the end of the day, like Nintendo does all this shitty stuff in regards to emulation, and in regards to game preservation, and in regards to how they treat use of their IP at like tournaments. Nobody gives a flying fuck because Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Wonder were 10 out of 10 games last year.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that's what the consumer cares about. It's
Yeah.
like the opposite effect of what I say when every gamer boycott is a 2-minute trailer away from being murdered.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with like Nintendo knows that it can be overly zealous of its IP because you're still gonna buy its games because its games are really good.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right.
It's tough out there.
Mhm.
And then I'm looking through indie stuff right now, and it's like, you know, I understand why, but a lot of these games are asking for, $20-$30, and for if you don't have a whole lot of money, that's a high price to pay for a risk.
Yeah,
Whereas a AAA
absolutely.
game,
Well,
with the coverage that it gets, it's not as much.
it's like why when Xbox Live Arcade was a big deal, those games being only $10 was awesome. Like 10,
Yep.
$15 versus like now indie games, due to just everything being more expensive, being 25, 30, 35. I paid $35 for Sea of Stars last year. That's kind of a tall order for, something you're not sure you're going to like it. Um, so yeah, like how much was Balatro? That was a very popular game this year.
Oh
Do
yeah,
we remember?
Balatro. Let's see here.
That was a popular indie darling.
$13.49 right now. $15.
Okay, $15 is not bad. That's
No.
that is basically a meal at a fast food restaurant now.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I don't think that's bad. I do think that there is a
No.
bit of a risk there. Um, but yeah, and that's not to say there isn't good stuff in the AAA space either. Um,
No.
you know, let's see. Let's see. PokerJack itch.io is the holy grail of value. I hate these new $15 indie games of which you speak.
There is something to be said about itch.io too. Yeah.
Yes, there is something where you can get a game for free or a game for like $1 and
Mm-hmm.
get really cool shit. Purely through just dumb luck of trying stuff. I do
Right.
think that there is like it's not to say I haven't played great stuff in the AAA space this year either. Like Tekken 8, that's a AAA game.
Yeah.
Like I'm playing Dragon's Dogma 2 right now. It's awesome. That game is
Right.
great. That game is a AAA as fuck game. But that game is also it is very clear that Capcom, outside of budget, told that team, yeah, do whatever. By every
Yep.
part of its design, it is very much a giant middle finger to standard AAA open world game design.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Comment in the chat. Capcom is king. Yes, we all pray to the Cap gods here. So don't you
Certainly in
worry.
this moment.
AAA games hurt my brain and my wallet, and it's just a pissing contest amongst themselves and their investors. Well, this was brought up on Cal Super Beast recently. I have noticed something that is that I kind of realized, but definitely realized after watching their show last week, which is, game developers, if you just tell enough of the truth to get by, that's all right. That's okay. The story they told was, hey, Aaron, do you know how Demon Souls happened? I did not know about this story, actually, until I heard it last week.
Okay.
Demon Souls was, what happened with Demon Souls is the fine folks at Sony went to Miyazaki and From Software, hey, can you make an Oblivion clone?
Huh.
And they said, oh yeah, sure, yeah, I got you. And then they just made fucking Demon Souls and they're like, here you go. And Shuhei Yoshida was like, this is fucking garbage. And Sony's like, well, we already spent the money. So they published it in Europe and in Japan, and then they didn't think it would do well in the US, so they let Atlas publish it in the US.
Huh. See, no. Now we should just be telling, do that. When they say, "Hey, you need to make an extraction game," like, sure, yeah, oh yes, this is an extraction game. Oh, definitely. It doesn't look like one. You don't know what an extraction game is.
So the thing about the Oblivion one, and what I'm realizing about most of these lies, are like, you have to be technically right.
Mm-hmm.
Like Demon Souls is totally a medieval fantasy RPG like Oblivion.
Yep, it is.
Just Rocket Raccoon wink gif. Just.
Oh, very much so. Oh, very much so.
So you base, and this has apparently happened multiple times in game industry projects that I'm finding out. And even in film. So we've all seen Blazing Saddles, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I have, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually didn't see that movie for the first time until last year.
Really?
My girlfriend showed it to me.
Oh my god.
They're showing it in theaters here in a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, because it's celebrating its 50th anniversary this year.
That's wild.
Holy shit.
So I saw that movie for the first time last year, and I loved it. It was fantastic. Apparently, the producer on that movie was like, "We need to get rid of this Gene Wilder guy. I don't like him. He's terrible." And I believe the director of that, Mel Gibson.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
Sorry, got him mixed up. The Mels.
Not the Road Warrior.
Yes. That was good. But Mel Brooks said, "Yes, sir, right away, sir, absolutely, sir," and then just didn't fire him, and kept doing that, and then eventually
he did that for a few other scenes too. They're like, we got to get rid of this fart scene. Like, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Kept it in.
And then so what? I think that if you are a creative person, you for sure know it's good. You can just absolutely bald-faced lie to the money people, and there you go. Especially the further up the train you go, like they don't know what they're talking about or what it is.
Nope.
Of course not.
So yeah. Like another one is like the Walking Dead comics. The Walking Dead comics, they're like, yeah, like, this is just gonna be a zombie thing. And they're like, really? That's dumb, like, standard zombie thing? And he's like, wait, but no. And then there's, we're gonna have aliens come and, like, see how the aliens react to the zombies and everything, and just all this other dumb shit. And then, after, 4 years, they're like, the aliens are never coming, are they? And he's like, nope. But it's made a lot of money, so shut up.
So shut your fucking mouth.
You have to fight back.
It has a couple spinoffs
in some way.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see that at Tekken as well. Like, Harada has even said, yeah, the reason why Tekken is good and has been mostly uncorrupted, or as corrupted as little as possible, is because I just keep telling them no a whole bunch and
Yeah.
keep telling them to go fuck off.
The power of no.
I understand a lot of developers don't have that power, but lying, that's when you go to lying.
Yeah, yes. Well, and even then, you do have that power because you're the one making the game. But
I mean,
then
yeah, but like, if you're a small fry and you say
yes.
no, they're like, all right, then we're shutting you down, or just we'll fire you and put someone else in who will say yes.
Yes. So, like, a big part of why Soul Calibur hasn't gotten a lot of love recently is Harada said, yeah, basically Soul Calibur just doesn't have, like, someone like me and the other people on Team Tekken. Like, if they were to get, like, and there are people in the company who want to come together, but, they just haven't yet. So, yeah, like, if you have a director who can say, lol, no, fuck off, great. And then if not, just lie.
I was gonna say Harada needs to be like going to companies like picking out people. This person, let them make Virtua Fighter. Let's go.
Just here you go.
Yeah.
Lordy. So yeah, no. That's that was all those.
Is there an indie games category in the Steam store?
I don't think so.
That's weird, right? Doesn't that seem weird?
I think it would just be well, and either way, categories on Steam are fucked.
They are.
Fucked.
You're right. I'm looking at all these categories, and yeah, none of these are what I'm looking for. But whatever.
So yeah. Anyway, we should get to what we've been playing.
For news stories, I just they did like a thing for Doom. They like updated some old Doom.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Remember that.
Yeah.
It's not like huge, but it's like, hey, we've updated Doom. You should check it out. They've done some work on it, which good for them. Those games are good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they're adding mod capabilities to Doom Eternal. So I'm very much looking forward to being able to use Isabel as a character in Doom Eternal.
I look forward to my version of Doom Eternal that is like all set to like happy like J-pop.
Yeah. Just set, every level is like some Animal Crossing music.
Yep.
You're set. Beautiful.
All right, so we've gone on. So let's get over what we've been playing real quick and call it a day.
Yes.
Hey, I played a whole bunch of Street Fighter this week. I got to Plat 3 with Akuma. I'm actually almost Plat 4 now.
That's wild.
Let's fucking go, baby.
Right.
Let's fucking go.
I keep trying to learn how to use down, medium into drive rush combo. And, like, I kind of get it, but I drop the combo, like, every time. Like, I will go down, medium, hit, and then my brain just breaks, and I mash a button, get 2 hits in, and I was like, fuck it, I guess I'm just gonna grab now.
Yep.
And then I've also gotten a lot better at closing the gap with Zangief. With drive rush. Like, my brain is slowly working in the drive rush. It is comprehending it. I played some Tekken with Kyrie and Joe in the Discord. Shout out to Kyrie and Joe. They beat the shit out of me real good. Kyrie
job,
being blue rank, he's teaching us some good shit. And then let's see. Did a little bit of the WoW pre-patch event. It's fun. It's standard.
As you do.
It's a standard go do stuff around a map and then murder a big boss.
All right.
Yeah.
And then a little tiny bit of Dragon's Dogma 2, and that was about it. So, what about you, AA Roland?
Let's see. Let me pull up my Steam history here. Oh God, a wild redfall just popped up on my screen. Nope.
Light it on fire.
Damn it.
Jesus
Wonder if that game's still getting worked on in some way.
Oh, I also played Grand Blue, and I'm having fun. I'm up to rank B in ranked.
Is that good? I don't know.
I don't know. It's letter grade, so I assume it's okay.
I assume that's all right. That sounds like a platinum.
Yeah, you start at D, so you know.
D, C, B.
Uh,
Okay, all right. So you're in the middle. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Unless they have like 3 different S's. There's
yeah,
S and there's double
Yeah.
S and triple S, or I don't know.
yeah, you know.
Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Mess around with Strive. I wish their story was not just a straight up anime with their characters. I just
Yeah.
I'm not someone who sits down and watches anime anymore. I'd like to, but like just I'm not. I don't like sitting down for that long unless it's like a full on movie. Which doesn't make sense when I say it out loud, but whatever.
The more you tell me stuff, the more I'm like, Aaron, I think you might also have ADHD.
I probably do. My doctor
Uh,
refuses to say, but I think I do.
You should ask them if you can get tested, man. That's what I'm doing. Second I have
I
insurance
took
again.
I took a test, like a paper test, just kind of like a checklist thing, and apparently it wasn't enough.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's also by my own self-assessment, which I feel like is
yeah.
corrupted in its own way.
Yeah, like that. Let me tell you, the more I read about it, the more I'm just like, dude, 100% do. I 100%.
I got problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
let's see, I checked out some V Rising, but not very much. Like a lot of the fun of V Rising is making your castle and stuff, but like the main story, I suppose, is you got to kill more and more difficult creatures, and apparently it gets really hard. But I'm so far behind my friends that are in this realm, and I don't know. I look like the lady from Underworld. Which is really all I wanted.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
that's all I wanted. So, played some Jackbox with the Mega Picker. That Mega Picker thing is nice. Very happy to be able to just select whatever game I want across packs.
All right. Yeah. Yes, that does seem exceptionally useful. As whenever we've done Jackbox night with my girlfriend's like, okay, hold on, gotta move, gotta move to the other thing.
Got to end this. Got to go over, boot this up, get through the intro screen, pick the game we want, then get into the intro screen of the video game, hit play. It's like, all right, okay, all right. So cutting out some of those steps is nice. Booted up King of Fighters 15 for all of 10 seconds to be like, okay, if I were to learn King of Fighters, these are the characters I want to learn. And then I jumped out. I was like, my plate is more than full with 2. Really 3 in a way. I can't be taking on King of Fighters. It'd be nice. I just want to know what characters I'm going to try and learn if I were ever pulled in. It's like, okay, cool, fine.
That's kind of how I've been treating Grand Blue, as like Grand Blue is my game where like I have a new system in Street Fighter, so I don't get super pissed off. Okay.
Okay.
I start the night in either training mode or casual mode just to get warmed up, so that way I don't just go in cold into matches. And then I do ranked, and I say, okay, if we de-rank below this point total, we're done for the night. We're done. We're pissed off. Go do something else. You can go play casuals, because that doesn't piss you off if you lose. You can go do training mode. You can go play another fighting game. That's fine.
Yep.
But if we drop below 15,800, we're done for the night. Because that means you have lost 7 times in a row, and you're just pissed off.
Right.
And then, but if I finish my time with Street Fighter, like I stop entirely, I go, well, fuck, I still want to play a fighting game, and then I just go play Grand Blue because I don't comprehend or give a shit. I'm just doing cool stuff and pressing buttons.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So
no, having a fighting game that's low stakes is super nice.
Yeah, like I don't give a shit if I'm not doing anti-airs correctly in Grand Blue. I am here to make the pretty robot lady do the sword attack, and if she and that's it. That's what I'm here for.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. I got Tekken as like, here's my main thing I need to work on. Here's my secondary because my friends are all playing Street Fighter. So let me try to learn Street Fighter. And then I've got Guilty Gear, just like, fucking this game's pretty as shit.
Yeah, that's me with Grand Blue. Like, Grand Blue's like, man, any hit can combo into your ultimate. That's neat.
Yep.
That's the
Yeah.
only thing I really know that's the point for. It's like, alright, I hit my light auto combo, 3 buttons. Boom, let's hit it.
Done. Let's go.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good mix to have. Like at most three fighting games, one you care about, one you care about, but it's on the back burner, and then one fuck around. I think that's a good mix.
And then I have old standbys like like I'll go boot up Dragon Ball, but it's like I'm not training anymore. I have fun with it, but I'm there to grind out some dailies so I can go make progress towards that last achievement and then log off.
Sure. People in our local Air Dashers group someone's been going and teaching people fighters. So now I'm occasionally getting pings of people in fighters looking for games. I'm like, you guys are supposed to be dead. What is happening over here?
Lordy. It's funny because like I look at like the Reno FGC, right, and it's just like it's you're playing Street Fighter, you're playing Guilty Gear, you're playing nothing. Yeah.
Damn.
That is the world I am in for those games. So
right. Oh God. Yeah. Let's see. So the other games are. Let's see, I don't think I played anything else. Yeah. Then I played Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. So I have been thinking about this a lot for a long time now, actually, because I started checking out Tekken like last year, and so I've been off and on like trying to really learn and read about fighting games, this whole time, and it's just I'm at this frustrating point now where it's like, okay, when I understand the fundamentals of fighting games, I can carry that to other games, and that will carry me enough to these like lower middle ranks when I get that. But I'm still in that spot where I am trying to figure out that process for the first time, and that is frustrating. It's a slog of trying to figure out what it is I need to figure out. So Street Fighter, I was having a bad time for a moment there. I went down to Iron 2 and then battled my way back up to Iron 3. I ran into a Luke that was uber patient. Would just hit and then like back up, like playing like a Guile almost. It was wild. And I didn't know what to do with that information. I tried to get in and it was difficult. I tried to play against a Kimberly that was very good with spacing. Oh my God, just out of reach of any of my pokes. It's like, damn, this is all right. And I didn't have any of the tools necessary to like, all right, what do I do in this situation with this character? I actually don't know, and I'm in the middle of a fight, so here we go. I battled my way back up to Iron 3, but it was like, yeah, just that frustration of not fully understanding what I need to learn to adequately use this character yet, which is something that happens as a beginner.
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, it's just like once I've battled to a certain point in a fighting game, I feel like I will understand the tool set that I need to acquire in order to do well in any other fighting game. It's just establishing that tool set for the first time feels like wandering into a forest. I think
that is partially true, but not fully. I think that some games like carry over. Like if you're pretty good at Street Fighter, you'll probably be pretty good at Grand Blue. If you are amazing at Tekken, it does not necessarily mean you are even going to be middle rank in Street Fighter or vice versa.
But like the foundation of understanding how fighting games work, even if it's a transition from 2D to 3D or something like that, like you understand spacing, you understand whiff punishing, you understand, here are the tools I need in this situation. And there are certain situations that are unique to those franchises that you got to understand that for sure. But like the base thing of how fighting games work.
So Here's what I can say in regards to playing those two situations you mentioned. In regards to playing against a really overly patient player, just be patient back. Typically, those people are like when they fuck up bad, and you can blow them up real good.
Sure.
Because they want you to put pressure on them.
Of
You know,
course.
because then they are going to seize the opportunity. Um, Now that said, confirm they can actually back up their shit. Like that Luke, I'm immediately jumping at them and saying, "All right, can they char you every time? We're gonna find out. If they char you me twice in a row, I'm gonna start to respect it." Um,
Right.
you know,
It's difficult because like I understood what their plan was immediately is they would get a life lead, and it's
yep.
like, okay, well I have to put some sort of pressure on them now, or I lose this match. Uh,
I
and so it was like figuring out how to like not go in full on like rush down, but just like, all right, I need to tease something out.
yeah. So I'm trying to think of how I would do that with Ryu, and my ideal look would be okay, Hadouken, 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 and it kind of depends on what he's doing because if he does Sandblast, his ranged, like if you are in range close enough to be able to do a DI, you can DI Sandblast and then just fucking all right, I get a freebie combo here. Let's do some
Yeah, that's a
damage.
good idea. That was another thing where like I'm still relatively new into playing ranked and playing against a bunch of people because like I would run into Sandblast and it was like, man, I haven't run into a Sandblast in a long time. I forgot there's this short burst that is if you're a decent distance away, you are totally safe, but that's not the end of Sandblast.
Yep.
Um, and so you got to remember that. So that's something I have to like forgive myself for is like I don't know these characters very well because I haven't been playing this game every day. I'm going to get blown up because I don't know these moves very well.
Right,
Um,
and that is something to consider because and I run into that at the plat level where I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot he does that, son of a bitch.
right.
So and that's gonna be and that happens at master sometimes even because that people talk about the mental stack of those games, right? Like the
Hmm.
mental stack of like, oh, I'm worrying about my my drive rush gauge. I'm worried about my health. I'm worried about my meter for super. I'm keeping track of all this different shit happening, and sometimes shit gets just lost in the sauce. I know M just messaged me. She probably has to go soon, so M, if you want to head out, that's all right. Um,
I do want to make a quick couple comments real quick.
uh,
Grand Blue has 3 S tiers before you hit Master.
I knew it.
Uh,
Motherfuckers,
yeah.
of course they do.
And then for my game that I've been playing is more Rebirth, and I'm almost done with the game. And with
Great.
that,
Yay.
I'm out.
Bye.
All right. Well, thank you for hanging. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for chilling.
Mwah.
So yeah. Anyway, back to what we were talking about with fighting games. So yeah, I think that's part of it because like I'll run that into Tekken because I'm in the lower middle ranks of Tekken and like God fucking damn it, I know that exists.
Hmm.
So it's it's something to consider for sure. Um, yeah, no, it's and that's the thing is like and it's at times it can be it's why I had to start putting in that rule of like no, be cool, stop, go do something else
Yep. Yep.
because like I am someone who can lose and be fine with it, but there are times where even I get tilted and I'm just like
Right.
okay, stop, stop, stop being mad, stop being tilted, go play another fucking game, like go play another thing, go do something else, like
What was difficult for me is I think unless it's our Friday night fights where it's a very established like all right we're gonna come in and hang and talk
mm,
fighting games.
mm,
Outside of that, I think me playing late at night just can't be a thing.
nope.
Uh, I'm just tired as fuck.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
I have had that. Like, I have literally had the realization that Street Fighter takes so much of your mental stack, as does Tekken, that
mm,
I have to literally, like, if I am deciding I'm going to play fighting games tonight after a work day, I need to take a nap beforehand. Like, if I am like, I want to play Street Fighter tonight. It's Thursday night. I don't got plans. I don't got raid. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take an hour nap, and then we're going to get up and play fighting games. So I completely agree with that. If you go into those games tired, you are just going to get just skull fucked horribly. Like, it's not even funny. So it's, like, definitely agree with that 110%. You know, which, hey, that physical training you're doing will help with that. You'll have more energy. You'll, you know.
Yeah, I would like to think so. It's been a couple months. I would love to. You know what? That's a good idea. I should work out. I have to work out today.
Yep.
I should work out, come back, and like take a shower, and then play fighting games and see what that's like.
Sure.
I don't know.
I personally, after I would work out, so this was mine when I was doing Street Fighter 4 back in the day, is it would like work out in the morning, come home, shower, and then nap. I cannot stress how helpful an hour nap is, and then go into the fighting game.
My problem is keeping it to an hour. My naps go long to the point where you start questioning, what do you define it as a nap? I don't know.
I've definitely had that. I had that yesterday, because I could not turn my brain off all last week. Would not turn off. This goes back into the ADHD thing I've talked about. Where, but no, so brain would not turn off. So I proceeded to, so on Saturday I finally crashed. We got back from the movie, like the Deadpool Wolverine, and I got into bed at 1 in the afternoon, and I woke up at 5 in the afternoon.
Yep. You just needed it.
Yeah, and I still slept kind of like shit last night. Like, I do not know why my brain is so fucking active recently. I'm gonna try some things at night and see how it works. Which is weird, because the week prior to last week, I was going to bed early and sleeping amazing. Like, I was like, just fucking, like, yeah, so I don't know. My sleep schedule's just fucked.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you tried meditation stuff?
No.
It might be worth a shot.
My phone so I guess that's one nice thing about Apple is that, like, my watch and phone come with all this, like, free meditation mindfulness garbage.
Okay.
So it's like, like, all right, well, worth a shot. I know my watch tries to remind me twice a day, hey, dude, do you want to go meditate? And I'm like, not really.
Yeah. A nap feels like it does more for that than meditation would. But if you've gotten into the habit of it, which it's something I failed to do myself, I've tried before. Just sticking with it, I imagine it helps a lot.
I've noticed that the naps do help. It's just that I can't do it every day because of certain things going on. So, like, I can do it on Monday, fine. I can do it I can't do it on Tuesday or Wednesday because I have ranking the PS2 and date night. Or if I can't, I technically can do it on Tuesday, but it's only for like 35 minutes. I can't do it on Friday. I can do it Saturday all fucking day. I can do it Sunday before raid. Like, it's not an everyday thing, so yeah, I gotta get shit sorted out, when it comes to that. We'll see.
For fighting games, I dropped out and then battled my way back to Iron 3 with Ryu, and I just need to keep going. I think I just ran into a couple guys that they know what they're doing. I do need to expand my tool set and know when to use what where. That was a good indicator last night. But beyond that, I think I just need to keep going, and I'll get out of Iron soon enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that I think one thing I noticed in those lower ranks is, like, man, like, that Sandblast Luke, I'm telling you right now, I have a very good feeling that man probably would have gotten hit by DI a couple of times. Maybe not.
I made sure to do it.
Yeah, so there you go. That's a bad habit I have, is, like, I'll let Ryu or Ken or Akuma get close with Hadouken. I'm like, I could have DI'd that and blown him up. God damn it. So
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
I know this week
Um,
is Tekken training time, but
yes.
sorry, go ahead. You were saying something.
Oh, just in Tekken, I just messed around a little bit, and I got my Leo to green ranks, um, so that's nice. I don't know what rank it starts. Like, you start getting negative points for
Yellow.
losses.
It's yellow.
Is it yellow?
It's
Okay.
yellow.
So I've just been like just pounding away at buttons, like while I'm doing something else. Just very low stakes right now. Of like, I'm not losing anything if I lose, so just whatever. Let's find out what it is. I am like, I'm just gonna turn my brain off and hit buttons, and that will show me what I don't have.
Hmm.
And it's like, all right, once I start getting to yellow, then it'll start being a problem. But
And even then, once you D rank into green again, you can't go lower than it. So
okay,
yeah. So once you are at green, you're done.
gotcha.
No more D rank. So
Yeah.
alright.
So yeah, just continuing to go ahead. I've been thinking about other characters other than Leo, but I haven't really put too much thought into it. Yeah, just thinking about other characters, but we'll see. I'm enjoying. I'm gonna stick with Ryu because I feel like Ryu is gonna teach me some real good fundamentals in Street Fighter. So I'm just gonna stick with Ryu.
I think Ryu's a good bet, especially because like he is pretty good until you get to the absolute highest end of ranked.
And that's
I
fine.
yeah, like I think that he has almost every tool you can want.
Hmm.
He has a pretty good drive rush micro dash combo. He has an overhead, a DP. He has good range. Like I think that the when I've seen a lot of Ryus get blown up, it's because they'll do unsafe shit that they didn't need to do, trying to get big damage. Like
Yep.
last night, I was playing a Diamond One Ryu, and he did donkey kick mid screen to try and punish randomly. It was a wish punish, not a whiff
Hmm.
punish, but a wish punish. And I jump over it, and then I get a full combo, and he loses 40% of his health. So it's
Right.
like, and the thing is like, there's a time to do unsafe bullshit. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's just at like beginning of the match. Okay, you're two
You're just
down
trying
here.
stuff, huh?
Yeah, like you're just you have no game plan. Like my game plan with Akuma a lot of the time is like, okay, we're gonna zone you out with Fireball, and then you're gonna get comfortable parrying and playing defense, and I'm gonna go for that grab. Like that,
Hmm.
you saw it in Friday Night Fights. That zoom, that vrr, bop bop bop, like the one where he slides across the screen.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and then my favorite thing in the world is people who jump into Raging Demon. It is the funniest goddamn thing.
Sure.
Uh, just like, oh, they're jumping at me. Boom, input. And then there's, and then there's of course the. I'm actually starting to find out the best part about Raging Demon isn't even the damage. It's what it does to the drive gauge of your opponent.
Mm.
Like, if they have low drive meter and you land it, they are totally burnt out, and you are going to just
That's
mess
wild.
them up. Well, so here's the shitty thing about it is like one, it has even in modern it has a semi-complicated input, and then on top of that, it's like it doesn't have a lot of stuff that easily combos into it. Like a
Hmm.
lot of your ideal target combos don't combo into it, or are
I see.
unsafe. Like so in the middle, and that's another thing about Street Fighter is you can buffer certain moves. So like during the animation of another move, so I can do Akuma's, that standing heavy kick he does, where it's like that sweep in the air. So I
Yeah.
can do that, and during that kick, I can enter Raging Demon, and he'll do it as his next move.
Oh man.
So
Wow.
the, so that is so definitely buffering is going to be your friend at some point. I'm
Okay.
because I was Zangief, it's not something I really ever need to worry about. There's a little bit of it, but the real thing I needed to learn for Zangief recently, as I've gotten better with him, and he's also almost Plat 3, is closing gap, learning how to use Drive Rush effectively, and Like last night when I was doing practice sets with Ed and Mike, go, drive rush, hand slap, drive rush, hand slap. Just get in, be able to close gap.
Yep.
And the game plan's different for every character. It's actually a
Sure.
big part of why in Tekken I'm looking into Azucena more, because a monkey brain rushdown character, me likey.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
yeah.
I don't know. I wonder how much weight I'm willing to give, because there are other characters that are also super big into rushdown, but people say that they're hard. And I'm like, I don't know if that's going to matter to a lot of people in the early ranks. Like, okay, you run into the difficulty, at intermediate or advanced levels, but like if it gets you playing the game more, then I don't know.
Yeah, I need to look at her combos in comparison to others, because my big issue I'm running into with Leroy is just his big combo launcher and starter is like slower than dirt. So
Yeah.
basically, it's like, it's that overhead kick. You've seen me do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, this is so slow.
Mhm.
Like, I have to be so patient and so like wait for the opportunity that this is almost not a practical tool. You
Right.
know, um, like, I get that they needed to nerf Leroy, but Jesus Christ, guys, like, you
And then there's
know,
something like, I was running into a similar issue with Leo last time I was doing ranked, which was like, damn, these characters are beating me out in speed. Is this a character thing, or is this, I don't know all the tools, and some of the faster tools are somewhere in here, and I don't know about them. And that's the more likely option, but I got to go find it.
yes, and I think a big part of why I'm having trouble with Tekken is like, there's so many moves. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many moves. Like,
Yep.
every character has 90 moves. And I'm coming from light, medium, heavy. Light, medium, heavy.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's, and in the case of Street Fighter, currently, it's literally not even 6 buttons, it's 4. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Modern. Which is
Yep.
actually what I suggested to Avian. He's like, oh, I have such trouble with 6 buttons. And I'm like, play Modern.
Yeah.
Go play Modern mode. There you go. It's
Right.
here for you. Uh, um,
Yeah.
so,
I don't know. Anyway, I'm when I'm booting up these games at the right time and like in the right mindset, I'm having a good time. I'm now approaching a wall in both games, and wall is a bit of an exaggeration, but it's like, okay, I am seeing I need to learn. I need to pick a couple things to learn in each of these games and go and find out what the tool is or tools to deal with these problems, train them in training, lab them, and then jump back in again.
yes, I have definitely found that, like, for example, right now the wall I have is, like, comboing into, like, getting a hit, drive rushing, and then comboing. Like, just the
Mm-hmm.
timing on it is really tight, and it's been difficult for me even in Modern. Like, I can drive rush to close gap fine now. Like, I've practiced it enough to where, like, okay, drive rush with Geef, and we're moving. But, like, as a combo extender or a combo tool, it's it's been real rough, and I just need to set away some time to sit in practice and do it. It was the
Yeah.
same with Raging Demon. Like, Raging Demon, like, the input for it, I had to, like, sit there and go, like, okay, we're gonna sit here in training mode. We're gonna set Luke to block, and, jab jab, medium heavy, jab medium heavy, jab medium heavy, and just did the fucking thing over and over and over. And even now, I'll still whiff it in match on occasion,
Sure.
but it's better, and that's the thing I'm running into, that I'm probably gonna run into with this. And there's, you know, and I even talked to Ed about it last night. He's like, yeah, with the exception of your, like, punish, like, you have trouble punishing, like, you don't get enough damage off because of the fact that you can't drive rush on punish. Like,
Mm.
if you get that down, you're basically gonna be in master level play almost.
Oh,
You
good
know,
lord.
yeah, because it's just like I understand spacing well. I understand with punishing the concept well enough, how to zone people out, uh, relatively how to make reads. It's legitimately like, oh, I do crouch medium, but I can't follow it up with the drive rush combo, so I get like 2 hits off, and then we're back to playing footsies.
Right.
So it's if I can get that down, I'm gonna have a real fun time the rest of my way through ranked. It seems like.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
uh,
Well, that sounds exciting. You just got to
yes,
figure that out.
it is, and to be fair, that journey was a long fucking road. Like
Yes, of course.
yeah, like I started out as I think with Geef I started in low silver, and with Ken I was Iron 2. And
Hmm.
then, Akuma, I started out better. I started out at Gold 2. Akuma
Sure.
had a shorter road because I had a bunch of knowledge, but it's one of those things where you'll get there, and everyone's at a different point. Like I think that's something that a lot of people who play these games have trouble realizing is like is everyone's at a different point. Like and that shows in our Discord where it's like we got guys who are Plat 1, we got guys who are Master, Diamond, we got guys who are Silver, Iron, Bronze, and
Yep.
it's everyone's journey with these games are different. And Tekken's the same way. I'm fucking dog shit in Tekken. I am legitimately probably the worst Tekken player in our Discord besides Blasian. Like no doubt. I have no doubt in my mind that I am the worst Tekken player in our Discord. Um, but I'm getting better, and I realize that like I need to find my Tekken Akuma,
Right.
or Geef equivalent. Where I'm like, this is
You need
fun
to
to do.
customize Dragonov into someone. Who would
I, I've
Dragonov be?
I've seen him as Big Boss.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. There
Yeah.
you go.
So, but I'm gonna give Azucena a shot.
Yeah.
You know.
I think Azucena is a lot of fun. I tried to customize her into Ayane. It didn't go great.
Mexican Ayane.
It doesn't help that the ninja outfit is behind a paywall.
Ah,
If you do that battle pass, you might get some currency, but I think a lot of that is in the premium battle pass you have to pay money for. So yeah, it's
not doing that.
money. But yeah.
Money.
Anyway, fighting games will continue here. We're going
Yep.
to continue playing them.
Yes, we are. Yeah. So a couple of house cleaning things before we call it a show. Yeah. Thanks for the people who commented. You're
Yes.
beautiful people. Keep doing that. I'm gonna do my best to get these up on the YouTube on Tuesdays and Wednesdays now. I know that's been a struggle, but now that I also have a weekly show to edit for ranking the PS2, it makes it a little easier.
Yep.
So there's that. As for other stuff we're doing, ranking the PS2 is on Tuesday. The episodes will show up on your feed on YouTube, broken into 3 parts on Tuesday to Saturday. Right now it's looking like Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, but we'll see. Then we have Friday Night Fights. I don't know what I want to do for that for YouTube. I'm debating if I want to do highlights. I'm debating if I want to just post the whole thing, or just do nothing as we're currently doing. But
Right.
that'll happen this Friday. This is Tekken Week, so it's Tekken Week. We're gonna do some Tekken, and then podcast next week. And love y'all. You're beautiful people. Bye.
See ya.